major Racine is escorted today by his parents, Christine and Keith and brother Charlie. Number 2, Jack Racine. Next, a graduate student from Miami, Florida, O.J. Armstrong. An environmental studies major, Armstrong is escorted by mother Tony Armstrong. Number 3, O.J. Armstrong. Next, a senior receiver from Shaker Heights, Ohio, Billy Dunn. An economics major, Dunn is escorted today by Father William Dunn and Sister Claire. Number 6, Billy Dunn. Next, a defensive back from New Orleans, Louisiana, Cam O'Brien. A sociology major, O'Brien is joined today by parents Christy and Scott O'Brien, along with sisters Brooke and Mia. Number 7, Cam O'Brien. Next, the receiver from Simsbury, Connecticut, Jackson Butler. An international relations major, he is joined today by parents Liz and Stephen and brother Shane. Number 9, Jackson Butler. Next, the receiver from North Caldwell, New Jersey, Phil Lutz. A history major, he is joined by parents Joanne and Phil and sister Victoria. Number 13, Phil Lutz. Next, the receiver from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, number 19, Gunnar Fisher. A biology major, Fisher is joined on the field by parents Robin and Eric and brother Reed. Number 19, Gunnar Fisher. Next, a quarterback from New York City, Trayvon Woodson. Woodson is escorted today by mother Ernestine Woodson. Trayvon Woodson. Next, a running back from Lynn, Massachusetts, David Barrios. Barrios is a biology and biotechnology major and is escorted today by parents Yesenia and Nelson, brother Nelson Jr. and sister Camila. Number 20, David Barrios. Next, a defensive back from Oakland, Illinois, Jayshawn Means. A sociology major, Means is joined today by mother Whitney Joseph and aunts Nisa and Wildine. Number 21, Jayshawn Means. Next, a running back from Fairfax Station, Virginia, Tyler Johnson. Johnson is an education and history major and is escorted by parents Seslin and Theodore Johnson, along with brother Tyler. Number 26, Tyler Johnson. Next, a defensive back from Cupertino, California, Jonathan O'Neill. A mathematics major, O'Neill is joined today by Carlton O'Neill, grandmother Barbara O'Neill, and brother Carlton. Number 28, Jonathan O'Neill. Next, a linebacker from Norfolk, Massachusetts, Matty Drouillard. An economics major, he is joined by parents Jennifer and Patrick Drouillard. Number 33, Matty Drouillard. Next, a defensive back from Riverside, Rhode Island, Jaden Pena. A political science and music, sound, and culture major, Pena is escorted by parents Amanda Augusta and Corey Pena. Brother Jace and sister Jaylee. Number 34, Jaden Pena. Next, a defensive back from Williston Park, New York, William McCreary. An economics major, McCreary is joined today by mother Lisa Stager and father Bill McCreary. Number 40, William McCreary. Next, a linebacker from Hinsdale, Illinois, Gio Arquia. An economics major, Arquia is escorted by parents Kimberly and Venanzio, brother Primo and sister Isabella. Number 44, Gio Arquia. Next, a linebacker from Tampa, Florida, Richie Forelli. Forelli is joined today on the field by parents Yvonne and Richard Forelli and brother Henry. Who stands Richie Forelli. Next, a lineman from Millis, Massachusetts, Kieran Hourahan. An international relations major, he is escorted by his grandparents Kathleen and Joe McCarthy. Number 52, Kieran Hourahan. Next, a lineman from Glastonbury, Connecticut, Gary Kazanjian. An economics major, he is escorted today by parents Patty Lampugnale and Gary Kazanjian, and Sister Jacqueline. Number 56, Gary Kazanjian. Next, a lineman from Berwyn, Pennsylvania, Blair Horning. A mechanical engineering major, Horning is escorted today by parents Lisa and Andrew, Sister Jules, and Aunt Gina Slow. Number 63, Blair Horning. Next, a lineman from Evanston, Illinois, Izzy Lobin. A political science major, Lobin is escorted today by parents Vale and Peter. Number 73, Izzy Lobin. Next, a lineman from Sun Valley, Idaho, Nick Swift. An economics major, Swift is the son of Joan and Tom Swift. Number 74, Nick Swift. Next, a lineman from Park Ridge, New Jersey, Travis Sipalia. An economics major, Sipalia is joined today by parents Amy and Tom. Number 79, Travis Sipalia. Next, a tight end from Rancho Santa Fe, California, Chase Mangini. A philosophy major, he is the son of Lisa and John Mangini. Number 86, Chase Mangini. Next, a tight end from Nashville, Tennessee, Josh Merriweather. Merriweather is joined today on the field by Father Carlos Merriweather. Josh Merriweather. Next, a receiver from Miami, Florida, Phil Coville. An economics major, Coville is joined today by Denise Coville and cousin John. Number 88, Phil Coville. Next, a defensive lineman from Chula Vista, California, Dom Haley. An economics major, Haley is joined today by parents Sahar and John Haley. Number 93, Dom Haley. And lastly, a defensive lineman from Gaithersburg, Maryland, Michael Butler. An economics major, Butler is joined today by Joy and Paul Butler. Number 97, Michael Butler. Fans, the Tufts football program and athletics department would like to thank these 28 young men for their sacrifice, dedication, and commitment to the Jumbo football program over their tenures, and wishes them all the best in their future endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for the 2022 Tufts football seniors.
Welcome back to the Ellis Oval for the season finale for your Tufts University Jumbos. It's senior day here in Somerville, and we have quite the roster of seniors for you. 24 seniors, 4 graduate students lead this Jumbo squad and are being honored here today. That honor came just a bit earlier as the team runs out of the tunnel now. A really storied career for many of these Jumbos. I'm Sam Brill. I'm on the play-by-play commentary one final time, joined by Scott Blatt on the color commentary. Scott, today, the 7-1 Middlebury Panthers come here to take on the 5-3 Jumbos. Talk to me a little bit about the history of this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely, Sam. Well, for a while, this matchup was less of a rivalry and more of a domination. From 2002 to 2014, the Panthers won 13 straight games against the Jumbos. Since, however, the Jumbos have turned the tables. They've gone 4-2 against the Panthers in their last 6 games, including last year when they won 34-27 at Middlebury, defeating the Panthers at their senior day. Jumbos are carried by their usual stars, Tyler Johnson, 120 rushing yards and a touchdown, Phil Lutz, 7 catches for 70 yards, and Michael Berluti had 217 yards and 2 touchdowns. But Sam, this is a much improved Panthers team from last year, and the Jumbos will definitely have their hands full today.
Absolutely, and with that being said, let's shift our focus to today's game. These two teams have had excellent seasons largely with their offense through the air. Can you tell me what makes these two teams so great and give me a preview of the matchup by the numbers?
Absolutely. Well, let's look at the numbers for a second. Let's go beyond the record. So both teams you can see have been strong through the air. The Panthers are averaging 294 yards per game. The Jumbos 314 per game. But the teams diverge when it comes to the rushing the ball. The Panthers only average 75 yards per game compared to the Jumbos averaging 137 per game. So as far as running a multi-dimensional offense, advantage Bows. And you can see defensively both teams are almost identical. They average 356 yards allowed versus 345, 17.5 points per game versus 17.4, and 14 and 15 turnovers. So these are two stout defensive teams, pretty much even when it comes to the defensive stats.
That's right, Scott. Two very evenly matched teams. It's going to be interesting to see who has the edge here early. And with that being said, let's take a look at our feature players and our player comparisons for today. First, we have Michael Berluti and Cole Kennan. Both have been prolific passers and two of the best in the league.
Absolutely, Sam. Between them, they have 3 of the 8 of the NESCAC Offensive Players of the Week, including last week's for Cole Kennan. And they both took similar paths. The Jumbo faithful will remember Michael Berluti taking over last year and turning heads with his play on the field, and Kennan has done the same. He took over mid-season for senior QB Ben Tauber, and all he's done since is won 2 Player of the Weeks, pass for 324 yards per game, and throw 20 touchdowns, including 6 last week. Of course, Michael Berluti isn't far behind. He throws for an average of 306 yards per game, 19 touchdowns, and a sky-high 70% completion percentage.
And I believe it's a Golden Helmet Award as well for Cole Kennan. But shifting the focus once again now to the receivers, Phil Lutz, one of the best in the NESCAC, and Donovan Wood close behind him.
Absolutely. Well, we all know Phil Lutz. The stats speak for themselves. And we will get back to this after the anthem. as we were saying before the anthem, all the Jumbo faithful know Phil Lutz, and the stats speak for themselves. He has 68 receptions, 984 yards, and 8 touchdowns. And more importantly, he's only 7 receptions and 64 yards from breaking the Jumbo single-season record that he himself set last year. But, Sam, we need to put some respect on Donovan Wood's name. He has 49 receptions, 851 yards, and 10 touchdowns, and he averages over 17 yards per catch. He's a real threat downfield. The Jumbos are going to need to keep an eye on him.
Absolutely, Scott. Now let's shift our focus to the keys of the game. What do these two teams need to do well to come out with a win on their last game of the season?
Well, let's start with a balanced offensive attack. In the Jumbo's losses, they failed to hit either 100 yards on the ground or 250 in the air. They need to get both going to win against these good teams. Likewise to the Panthers, they're 7-1, but in their single loss, they finished the game with negative 16 rushing yards on the ground. That's not going to cut it. Big one is going to be win each quarter. Both teams have great quarter differentials, including the Panthers with plus 64 in the fourth. And let's go to the biggest one, which is don't be afraid to take shots. Both teams need to put pressure on their quarterbacks. The best way to beat pressure is by taking shots downfield as time to get this game going.
And Scott, with Patrick Walsh set to kick off in the first half, we'd be remiss not to talk about Coach Bob Ritter and his storied career as the head coach of the Middlebury Panthers. In 22 years as the head coach, he's led this team to 3 NESCAC championships, 1 undefeated season, and even coached the Jumbos for a couple of years before that. After this season, Coach Ritter's decided to step down from his position as head coach and move into a more administrative role with Middlebury Athletics, and we'd like to congratulate him on an excellent coaching career as his team gets set to fight for him one last time. Looking to move this team to 8-1 to claim second in the NESCAC. I believe the Trinity Bantams have already clinched the conference as Walsh's kick is off and long. Middlebury will let it bounce in the end zone, and coming out is going to be Cole Kennan. We talked about him before, but really special talent for this Middlebury team, and ever since he took over for Ben Tauber, this offense has really gotten rolling.
Yeah, 20 touchdowns in 5 games is really, really impressive. 6 last week as well, so even before that he had 14 in 4 games. He's a very prolific passer. Completion percentage is a little low, closer to 60%, but, that's partially because he's just been throwing the ball so much because we know the Panthers have struggled on the ground.
And next to Mr. Cole Kennan is Lee Charles McNeil, the starting back for the Panthers. They're going to run it on first down with McNeil. He'll run left for a gain of about 4. Butler and Uteri in on the stop for the Jumbos. The Panthers gaining 5 on the first play. Jumbos send pressure. Kennan able to shake it, throws downfield. He was looking there for Greg Livingston, but can't connect. Good defense from William McCreary.
Yeah, and you see that all the time where the defensive back never turns their head around and they miss the ball or they get called for the PI. But a great job by McCreary to turn his head right at the last second, get his hands up, as you can see on the replay up there. He got his hands up right at the last second, prevented a clean pass.
McCreary and Garza on the coverage. Now Cole Kennan facing 3rd and 5. Kennan drops. Jumbo send pressure, and they'll take Kennan down. There's a sack for E.J. Comerford. Or, excuse me, that's Matty Drouillard, number 33 for the Jumbos. Excellent tackle.
Yeah, and it's a more important tackle because Kennan had a man streaking on the near side. Laparomos, he was rolling out. He didn't have any time to set his feet because Matty Drouillard was following right behind. Great defense and great job by that Jumbo's front line and linebackers to put enough pressure to prevent an easy pass.
And a great job by the Jumbos, forcing the 3-and-out on the opening job. Cole Kreider now in for Middlebury. A lot of seniors in there on special teams, including number 34, Jaden Pina. And the punt, it's going to take a Middlebury bounce. And as the ball stops on the Jumbo 36, that's where the Jumbos will take over, and Michael Berluti ready to lead this squad out there.
Sam, one thing to keep an eye on the punts, we saw them warming up, and if you can see the flag in the camera, it is blowing against the Middlebury punters in the first half. And we saw warm-ups. The punts did seem to get knocked down just a bit, and it looked like that happened there. This is a pretty prolific kicker, normally at least, longest 65 in the season, but there got knocked down. The Jumbos have a very good starting field position.
Now Berluti with the senior Tyler Johnson next to him, getting ready to start this Jumbo drive. They'll take over on their own 37. And a fake handoff to Johnson, wide open over the middle of the field is Phil Lutz. He's got one to beat, wide open field right in front of him. Phil Lutz is going to take this one to the house. A 63-yard touchdown for Phil Lutz on the opening drive, first play of the game, and the Jumbos score 6.
What an open field move by Phil Lutz. Oh my God, did you see that, Sam? First man miss, second man with that quick jab step right around him. The play action, they bite on the play action. Sam, did you say that was 63 yards? That puts him just 1 yard short of his single season record from last season. What a play.
And a great first play drawn up by Coach Savetti. We saw the Jumbos get away from passing the ball in the middle of the field, but on first down, the Jumbos attack the middle of the field, and Phil Lutz making a beautiful move in open space, sends it to the house, and Vaughn Seelix now on for the extra point. Seelix's kick is up and good. Middlebury has had a couple of blocks on special teams, so good job by the Jumbos to convert there. Really, you can't ask for much more. Phil Lutz in open field is certainly a dangerous weapon. And Scott, we talked about breaking his own record, but now it might look a little bit more feasible to get to that NESCAC all-time receiving record. I believe it sits somewhere around 1,200 yards. So Phil Lutz going to maybe give himself a bit at that.
Yeah, well, that'll do it. And, you know, what did we talk about, Sam, at the opening? Don't be afraid to take shots, right? And obviously the safe play there, you know, hand the ball to Ty Johnson right up the middle. But the play action opens up the field, and then you get your ball on your best receiver, and that's Phil Lutz. Makes a quick move, and all of a sudden you've done it. And that's exactly what we said you needed to do, right? Open up the field, because now the Panthers are going to be thinking about that the entire game. It's going to open up the run game. It's going to open up play action. What a job by Coach Savetti to set this game up.
And Scott, we've criticized Coach Savetti before for not being super creative with his play calls, but definitely a good move right there. Open up the rest of the playbook at this point in the game. Walsh's second kick is up. Middlebury receives it. Still on his feet, running out over to the 25 on the left. Rocco Stola on the return.
Yeah, and to echo that point on Coach Savetti and the play calling, one thing we were worried about was week 1 we saw against Trinity, the Jumbos got really dead set on running the ball, and they ran it for 37 times for only 60 yards. And finally, when they opened up the passing game in the second half, that's when they started to make a move. And it's great to see that they've kind of, you know, broadened their horizon. They're willing to go with the big play right at the beginning. Very good job.
And Scott, you can talk about it all you want, but man plans and God laughs. So we talk about a balanced offense and immediately go into the air. So you've got a run now for Middlebury. That's McNeil. He runs left for a gain of about 3. A tackle from Juilliard.
Gain of 2, it'll be 2nd and 8 for the Panthers.
Kennan still back behind center. Lee Charles McNeil to his right. Set up in a 3-receiver set with the tight end. Rolling right is Kennan. He's got a guy. Racine turns his head, but a good catch there from Patrick Jamin.
Kennan's pass is complete to Patrick Jamin.
Middlebury all the way out to their own 44.
It's a gain of 17 and a Middlebury first down.
Kennan now takes the snap, hands off to McNeil, who runs right, but gets stuffed at the line for a gain of about 1.
And Sam, I want to go back to that passing play. It's the second time we've seen that bootleg with both Donovan Wood and Patrick Jamin running on this side of the field. And we saw Donovan Wood was actually had a step, but he was too far downfield. It was a good recognition by Kennan to realize that he didn't have the arm strength, would not have enough time to set his feet, and he makes a safe play right there. It's a just high IQ play by Kennan, and it sets them up near midfield.
And just outside the reach of Jack Racine. We know he's dangerous in the secondary for the Jumbos. Now Kennan sends Jamin in motion. Takes the snap. Jumbos send pressure. Kennan gets rid of it, looking for Jamin, but can't connect. William McCreary on the coverage.
Donovan Wood was wide open. You can see his body language. He knew it, and I knew it too. The Jumbos are deciding not to send any defensive backs kind of in the latter half of the field. They're letting him play one-on-one, and Donovan Wood's gotten a step on his primary defender almost every time. That time, Kennan had him. He should have been able to set his feet. I just don't think he was looking that far downfield.
Scott, Donovan Wood, again, super dangerous receiver on this Middlebury team. We'll see if he can get going.
Absolutely, and he averages 17 yards per reception, so whenever he touches the ball, it's going pretty far, and that's an example of why he's great in the open field.
Kennan sending it deep for his man, He had Noah Lee wide open on the sideline, but misses him by a couple of yards. And another good defensive stand from the Jumbos.
Good play call there by Ritter, though. What happened is Donovan Wood actually went to the inside, and he brought both defenders with him. It was an adjustment by Tufts, but the Panthers actually anticipated that, and that's how you had that man open down the sideline. Unfortunately, Kennan wasn't able to hit him.
Certainly was Kennan's first look. All he had to do was look downfield and fire a strike. Just missing the basket. Jumbos get lucky and stand strong on defense. It's going to be Andre Smith back to receive the punt.
Pretty solid breeze once again.
And as you can see from that flag, it's blowing definitely back towards Middlebury. Jumbos get a hand on it. And it's Victor Garza picking it up. Garza gets tackled from behind, but well into Middlebury territory. They'll start this one on the Middlebury 48.
Yeah, I really don't know what happened on special teams there. Somehow 4 Jumbos were able to get cleanly past the first line, and that second line was only 3 for the Panthers, and they were backed up real close to the punter. Factor in that there was a bit of a high snap, and it's an easy block for the Jumbos, plus a good return by Victor Garza to get another 10 or so yards on it. Jumbos will take over in Panthers territory.
And Garza, a former special teams player of the week after taking a blocked kick to the house. Garza doing a great job there, bringing it out to Middlebury territory. And now Berluti's going to start this one with a short field in front of him. Tyler Johnson to his left. Berluti takes the snap. Middlebury sends pressure. Berluti not crumbling underneath it, though, looking for Jaden Richardson well over his head.
Yeah, good job by Berluti. Hanging in there, took the hit. No, didn't really see anyone. I think the Jumbos only sent 3 really downfield, and the Panthers drop back in coverage. So it's a good awareness. Don't make any mistakes, especially with the lead, especially with this field position. You've got time.
The Jumbos put some different personnel on the field. It's going to be Jackson Butler and Cade Moore in the game. Cade Moore is going to be in the slot. Richardson and Lutz out wide. Jackson Butler to Richardson's right. Berluti with Johnson to his left. They send Lutz in motion. Berluti's going to hand it off to Johnson, or take it himself. Good read from him. Gain of about 5 for Berluti, and they'll face 3rd and long.
And that's one thing, difference in the quarterback matchups is Kennan is not a runner. Berluti is. He has 349 yards on the ground going into this game, 4 touchdowns. Kennan is under 25 yards total, 0 touchdowns. So that's one element that the Jumbos definitely have the advantage in, as you see it right there. I don't expect the Panthers to bring out any read option, but that's exactly what Berluti did right there. And it was good recognition because Johnson would have been stuffed pretty much at the line if he kept it.
It'll be 3rd and 7 for the Jumbos.
3rd and 7 for Berluti and the Jumbos. Cade Moore, the motion man. Berluti takes the snap. He's got Butler open in the middle of the field, but goes for Lutz instead, who shakes a man, shakes another, and another beautiful open field move for Phil Lutz. Sends this one to the house. That's 2 touchdowns for Phil Lutz. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns, 13 on the board. Seelick coming on to try to make it 14.
And the the Tufts Jumbos single season record has once again been set by Phil Lutz as far as receiving yards. I mean, Sam, what a read first of all by Berluti to get it past the linebacker, but then by Phil Lutz. I mean, you still had 2 or 3 defenders to beat, and he just goes right around them. He got a great block downfield. Even so, 2 great moves, and his speed kills. He's really making the most of his senior day.
And he's a real special player in the open field. Phil Lutz already stinging the Panthers. Seelick on for the extra point. It's up and straight through the uprights. 14-0 Jumbos here in the first quarter. But Scott, still a lot of time left in this game. Still 10 minutes on the clock in the first quarter.
Absolutely. One thing this does do, however, is it puts pressure on the Panthers because offensively, right? We haven't seen any sign that they can slow the Jumbos down defensively whatsoever. I mean, Phil Lutz is just running all over them. Right, and now the Panthers, who already struggle with the run, you're forcing them into almost automatic passing situations to get back into this game, and that's really helpful for a Jumbo defense that has been vulnerable to the run in the past. Now they're much more willing and able to sell out on the pass, just make it that much more difficult for any of those bombs that we talked about. So this is great for the offense, but this is an even better sign for the defense because they should be able to anticipate what's coming.
Absolutely, Scott. And Michael Berluti making his case for NESCAC Offensive Player of the Year. He's had a special one so far. Of course, helps to have one of the best receivers in the NESCAC, and doesn't stop at Phil Lutz. They also have Jaden Richardson and Jackson Butler, who have been a 3-headed dragon, to say the least. And kick out the back of the end zone from Patrick Walsh. Middlebury's going to take over on their own 25 now. Defensive unit getting ready to head back out there.
And, the one thing about Middlebury is we talked about how they don't win games by all that much compared to some of the teams in the NESCAC. Even the Jumbos on average, when they win by 23, 24 points. Middlebury's closer to 11 or 12, right? So they're not the one to blow teams out. They just play good, solid, fundamental football. But when they get down, it's harder to do that and expect to get back into the game, as you see right there, right? The Jumbos, the Panthers just aren't that good of a running team, and so it's hard to get into your set. If you want to run first down, pass on second down, you can't do that knowing the Jumbos are able to stop you at the line.
It's going to be 2nd and 9 for the Panthers now. Not a ton of offensive momentum here for the Panthers, and Cole Kennan is looking to get things going. Sends one deep. Had a man to beat, but just outside the reach of Donovan Wood. Good on the coverage was Christian Rosario.
I'm a little surprised that the Jumbos are going to leave Donovan Wood one-on-one, even if it is Christian Rosario. No shade to him, but right, we've seen Donovan Wood create some space every time, and the one thing you don't want to do if you're the Jumbos is allow any big plays, and something like that, right, one-on-one down the sideline. Next thing you know, it could be a big play. Even if you have confidence in your defensive back, things happen. I'm a little surprised that they're not dropping more defensive backs back to take that away.
Now Cole Kennan. Jumbo's giving a lot of space to these Middlebury receivers. 3rd and long. Kennan, he goes down, and a double team sack there for the Jumbos. Can't quite see who got in there. Looks like number 11, Jameer Alves. And Michael Butler in there as well. The seniors really showing out here on senior day.
Well, the Jumbos had 7 sacks last week against Colby. They only had 11 going into that game, and we thought, this would be a good opportunity. We talked about pressuring the QB, bring that momentum. That's exactly what you did there. And also credit to your defensive backs who took away any short passes, allowed the linebackers and the defensive line to get there.
Butler's been special all year. And another short punt from the Panthers. Takes a Panther roll. It's going to be down all the way at the Jumbo 41, but another short field in front of Michael Berluti on this Tufts offense.
The Panthers need to make an adjustment on special teams. One thing you've noted, they have a lot more line drive punts, and those are easy to block if you get pressure. And the Jumbos are getting 3 or 4 guys past the initial line almost immediately on every one, and that almost nearly was blocked too. Panthers are going to have to adjust some way, shape, or form to prevent that from happening. Talk about momentum killers. Blocked punts for short fields. That'll do it.
Absolutely, Scott. Now Berluti in the offense. Looking to march down once again. It's been the long passes that have helped him out. Johnson's going to take this run, get wrapped up after a gain of about 5 to the left. Tyler Johnson keeps those legs churning. And a good run from him.
And another benefit of scoring so fast and scoring so often early is, right, your first 20, 30 plays that you might have scripted, you've only had to run through 5 or 6. You already have 2 touchdowns. That leaves you a lot of room to show new things, right, to give off different looks that you've already scripted and planned for. The Jumbos have a lot to go for and a lot left in the tank before they start calling their own stuff.
Jumbos go empty backfield here. Send Cade Moore in motion. Berluti looking to get it out to Lutz quickly. Little extracurricular activity. And pass falls short. It's going to be 3rd and 4 for the Jumbos. Intended for Lutz was the pass.
Yeah, it looked like there was a bit of miscommunication. You had 2 receivers running and both kind of looked at each other. It was right in between them. Wasn't the best throw by Berluti. He didn't really hit either of them, and I think Berluti thought Phil Lutz was going to keep going upfield.
Jumbos go to their 3-receiver set, bring in the tight end. Johnson to the left of Berluti. He's going to take it himself. He gets through. Looks like he's going to be just short of that first down.
Oh, they're going to give it to him. They're going to give it to him. I thought he was short too, but pretty definitive mark right there, and they're going to give it to him.
And a generous spot extends the Jumbo drive. Really not much that the Panthers can do to stop this Jumbo offense. They keep their legs moving and keep driving down the field.
And Berluti is just so shifty, right? It's so hard to bring him down without him getting at least a couple positive yards. It makes him so dangerous on those 3rd and shorts.
Cade Moore in motion. Berluti takes the snap. Looking at Lutz immediately on the bubble screen. Lutz in open field, brought down by a swath of Panthers.
We know the Jumbos love those bubble screens to Phil Lutz, and sometimes they can get almost a little too in love with it. They might run it a little bit too much. Good to see what the vibes were there, but I think the Panthers had that snuffed out pretty fast.
3 catches already over 100 yards for Phil Lutz. Still plenty of time left in this first quarter. Berluti's got Johnson to his left. Butler's got a lot of space. 2nd and 8. Middlebury sends pressure, but over the middle of the field. Good catch there from Cade Moore, gain of about 6.
Good quick release by Cade Moore in the slot and right upfield. And again, at this point, because you've opened up the far, the middle of the field and far down, it opens up a lot of opportunities.
Jumbos go quickly, hand it off to Johnson, who's got a first down and some more. Johnson runs right through the middle of that offensive line. Good block in the middle there from Blair Horning and Kieran Horahan. Tyler Johnson hits the hole hard, picks up the first down.
I love when they do hurry up, short, and run, because the defensive line, people don't realize it's so important to be in the exact right spot so you can plug those holes, especially on 3rd and short. When you run hurry up, you don't allow the defensive line to set exactly where they want. That's exactly what you saw. Johnson snuck right through a hole for 4.
Now 4 receiver set, trips to the right for Michael Berluti. Johnson to his left with Richardson, the lone receiver, on the left. Looking for Richardson on the little slant just behind him. Jade Richardson trying to reel that one in. Looks like he took a tough hit to the leg, maybe cramping up. He's hopping off the field.
Yeah, it's that left leg, and it looked like it was landed on by the defensive back. You hope he's okay. He'll get checked out on the sideline.
Richardson already trying to shake it out. Billy Dunn, the receiver, in for Richardson. We saw Billy Dunn have an excellent season last year. Definitely a red zone threat for this team. Not quite there yet, though. It's 2nd and long for Berluti and the Jumbos. He takes a snap, hands off to Johnson, and the Panthers penetrate that line well. Nothing doing for Johnson on the left side.
Yeah, good job by the Panthers shutting down the Jumbos. We know they're averaging 137 yards per game, but that's been inconsistent. The Jumbos have had a few games where they really haven't had much at all going on the ground, and the Panthers are hoping, at the very least, if you could take that away, then it forces the Jumbos into passing situations, and they feel more confident when they know what's coming. The problem was that we saw that they got bit in the first 2 drives by play action at least once.
3rd and long once again for the Jumbos. Johnson to the left of Berluti. Berluti's got some time. Looks over the middle of the field for Lutz, who drops it. Good defense in the middle of the field there from Jordan Ramos.
Yeah, it's hard to tell whether the defender got a hand in there, and we'll see on the replay. It'll be a little tough to tell. I think Berluti could have let him just a little more to be able, if Lutz was able to extend his hands and kind of create that separation from the defender, but it was just good defense overall, and it was kind of a broken play. There's only so much you can ask of a quarterback there.
And on the opponent 36, the Jumbos are going to decide to punt this. Last time we saw the Jumbos go with this decision, it went into the back of the end zone. So Pat Walsh needs to be really careful to keep it out of there. You don't want to only be able to advance 11 yards. Right. Panthers send on Rocco Stola, the return man. Walsh. Little short punt. And it does go into the back of the end zone. Pat Walsh kicking it back there, and the Jumbos advance the ball about 11 yards.
Yeah, I think, hindsight is 20/20. Obviously, knowing that it went into the end zone, you might rethink that. I still think it's the right move, though, just because the Panthers have not shown anything offensively. Sam, I know you might not think so, but, the Jumbos have played very good defensively, and one thing they also can't do is kick field goals consistently. I think it's the right idea. It's 16 yards. They'll put it at the 20 off the punt touchback. Maybe time will tell me I'm wrong, but I have confidence right now. The way the Jumbos are playing defensively, they've looked really, really strong. Yeah, Scott, I'm not a huge fan of the call. Definitely need to execute the play if you're going to go with it. Regardless, Middlebury's going to pick up on their own 25 now. They send Jamin in motion. Kennan looks downfield. The Jumbos get a hand on it. A beautiful one-handed interception. Number 18 for the Jumbos.
Oh, wow, what a play.
And that was an unbelievable read.
Jeremy Zuniga on the interception. Oh, my God.
And if you could see on the replay, what a read by Jeremy. What he does is he's not in that coverage, but he sees the quarterback's eyes and he makes an immediate break. It's an unbelievable read and, of course, an unbelievable catch. Looks like punting may have worked, Sam.
Can't argue with results, Scott, and Jumbo's taking over now with another short field in front of him. Need to execute here, though. A 21-point lead in the first quarter would certainly be huge. Berluti setting up with the offense.
And they're essentially right back. I mean, they're at the 38. Essentially the same spot with a new set of downs.
Now Johnson, he takes the snap, runs left for a gain of about 2. Jumbos haven't really been able to run the ball super well, and it's a testament to the Middlebury defense, allowing fewer than 100 yards on the ground per game. But once again, Jumbos have been able to continue to throw the ball through this Middlebury defense.
Right. If you said this is a 0-0 game, the Jumbos can't run the ball, now it's more of a concern. But given they're already up 14, they've been showing you that they can beat you in the air, whether you know on first and down, third and long. Even if you know you're passing, you're a little less worried about that. All you're doing right now is trying to keep the Panthers honest.
Another handoff to Johnson. He gets tripped up by his own man at the line. It was Nick Swift tripping over an ankle.
Yeah, it looked like there was some penetration, but he definitely had a little more room to run, probably would have gotten a few more yards. And now we find ourselves in a pretty similar spot, maybe a little further downfield in the 3rd and 8 that ultimately resulted in the second Phil Lutz touchdown.
Jumbo's 3rd and 8 now. Full receiver set. It's going to be Lutz, Butler, Cade Moore, and Billy Dunn. Berluti with Johnson to his right. Cade Moore in motion. Berluti looking downfield. Over the middle of the field, it's Phil Lutz once again who picks up that first down. 3 men on him, still can't stop him.
Yeah, 3 men on him, 2 more lurking in the background, and you still can't do anything about it. Great recognition to beat that zone, and a great read again, Michael Berluti. It's one of those things he's going to throw it there, and you still can't stop it.
Berluti looking quickly to Cade Moore in motion. Nice little wheel route for him. Picks up a couple of yards.
Right, that's a smart read right there. It's a good play design because unlike the bubble screen where you have a stagnant receiver, Cade Moore has all his momentum. He's already running downfield with a blocker ahead of him, and you're not trying to get that big of a play, right? And I'm not sure how many yards they gave him. I think they said 8. And, on first down, you'll take that every day of the week.
Absolutely, Scott. This Jumbo team now marching into the red zone. On the Middlebury 15, 2nd and 2. Johnson to Berluti's right. Middlebury stacks the box. Berluti keeps it. Looking over to the sideline. We'll see who's got it. Looks like it's going to be a touchdown. Who's underneath it? It's Jackson Butler. Or no. Still can't quite see. And it is Jackson Butler.
What a catch by Jackson Butler. I mean, it's a tight window. He was pressed right there by the defensive back, and it doesn't matter. Berluti hits him square in the chest. Butler does a great job of hanging on to the ball and controlling the ball as the defender puts all his body weight on him. And the Jumbos, again, with that passing attack, are looking to go up by 21.
And they do just that. 3 touchdowns for Jumbo senior receivers, 2 for Lutz and 1 for Jackson Butler. Jumbo offense really moving and percolating through the air.
And one thing to note, and of course, first and foremost, we hope he's okay. This is without Jaden Richardson on this pass drive. We saw him trying to get loose on the sideline. He looked like he was a little gimpy with that leg. You can see him now getting it worked on. But even so, your second receiver goes down. It's just next man up, and Jackson Butler does exactly that. Great catch. 21-0 in the first quarter.
Now the Jumbo's getting ready to kick it off to Middlebury, give them the ball once again. The Jumbo defense has stood strong so far. Last drive was ended by an interception. The wind seems to knock the ball off the tee. Patrick Walsh back for the Jumbos. Getting ready to kick this off to Rocco Stola and the Panthers.
Walsh to kick off for the Jumbos.
Looks like Jamin deep as well. Walsh will kick this one out the back of the end zone once again. Middlebury's going to take over 1st and 10 now on their own 25, looking to really get going. Nothing's been doing for this offense so far.
Yeah, one thing to note on the wind, it's a pretty consistent breeze, and we said it does obviously affect special teams. It can also affect the passing game, especially when you're throwing straight into it. That's what Cole Kennan has had to deal with. You wonder if it's playing any sort of role, especially when he's had a couple deep shots that it feels like he's misjudged ever so slightly. It's an adjustment you just have to make, of course. With the turn of the quarter coming, though, you wonder if that'll change things, maybe make him a little more accurate when that happens.
And a handoff. Looks like Lee Charles McNeil fell in the backfield, tripping over his own legs. The Jumbos catch a break there on 1st down. It's going to be 2nd and 12 for Middlebury.
Yeah, and that's the story of how the game's gone for Middlebury so far. No one near him. Couldn't tell if it was Kennan, but it did more so look like it was just his own legs, like you said. Falls right to the ground, and it's going to be a loss of 2 and what should have been at least a slightly positive play.
Kennan takes it, looking to get the ball out quickly. First completion of the game, William McCreary standing him up. That's number 1, Greg Livingston on the catch, gain of about 4.
Livingston, the number 2 receiver, 49 receptions. That's tied for first with 655 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's been good pair for Donovan Wood. And I believe that's his first reception on the day. We have, again, one-on-one matchups on either sideline.
Kennan takes the snap. Looking deep for Donovan Wood. Yep. Turning back for it was number 25, Lewis Timmons, but catching it is Donovan Wood, really asserting his dominance on that catch. Well done by Donovan Wood to reel that one in.
I still don't understand it. You have Donovan Wood, Greg Livingston, and Patrick Jamin, 3 very prolific receivers, and they're all one-on-one. The odds that all 3 of them are going to be covered on any given play are not great. I mean, obviously you can hope your defensive line gets pressure, but if they don't, someone's probably going to be open, as we saw right there.
Rolling out right, Kennan once again. Jumbo's trying to force Wood out of bounds. They do not. He reels it in, and Donovan Wood been excellent on this drive. Cole Kennan just getting him the ball, and William McCreary struggling in coverage.
Yeah, it was poor coverage on the near side. Anson Clow was also open for a shorter gain, and really he was wide open too. So we had 2 receivers pretty much uncovered this side.
Kennan takes a snap once again, fakes, goes back outside for Donovan Wood, who can't reel it in.
And
there's a flag on the play. We'll see if they get the Jumbos for a little push after the fact. They do not. It's a 10-yard penalty on a hold from Middlebury. It's going to back them up just a little bit. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I couldn't tell who fell, but one of the Jumbos fell to the ground in the backfield. And usually when that happens, either they tripped or they got held, they got tugged down. Remember, cannot tackle rushing the lineman. That's as good as holding. I think that's what happened there, and they caught it.
Now Kennan on 1st and long, 1st and 20, takes the snap. Looking over the middle of field, but feels the pressure right behind him. That's number 23 on the hit for the Jumbos, and dropping the ball was Donovan Wood.
Yeah, Wood felt the pressure coming. You'll see on the replay the throw is slightly behind him, but he knew, right, a lot of those open field streaks, when you're right next to kind of that front linebacker line, odds are someone's about to crunch you. Wood knew that was coming, probably was in his head, and he wasn't able to hang on, took the hit as well, so kind of worst of both worlds.
Cole Kennan now. 2nd and 20 on the Jumbo 26. He takes the snap, looking downfield, sends one deep for Livingston. And the Jumbos come down with it. That's Victor Garza, but he's out of bounds. No catch for Garza, or rather no interception. And it's going to be 3rd and 20 now for Cole Kennan and this Middlebury Panthers offense.
Yeah, we'll see the replay there, but it looks pretty clearly to me that he did not get a foot in. Unfortunately, it was still an impressive catch And, you know, I think the Jumbos have made a great adjustment. Maybe it's because they're closer to their own end zone, but they've gone into more of a zone look, less press coverage, less one-on-ones, and you've seen the difference. You haven't seen a receiver open down the field over the last 4 or 5 plays, which is a marked difference from the first couple of possessions where you had someone streaking almost every time. I think Kennan tried to look for something that simply wasn't there, and you had the near pick on that last play.
That's right, Scott. This team definitely adopts the bend, don't break mentality. Kennan looking to break them. Jumbos have some pressure out of the backfield. That's Lee Charles McNeil, who gets pushed out of bounds before the original line of scrimmage. Looks like they're going to send on Andrew Haas for the field goal. Still it's going to be 4th and about 11.
I don't think they are, Sam, and it's a long 3rd and 11, but I guess down 21 points, the calculation is 4th and 11. The calculation is that you need a touchdown right here to cut this to 3 possessions, and they do have to snap the ball before the end of the quarter, so the decision has to be made now, and they're still looking at the sideline. I wonder if they're going to burn a timeout.
Looks like they're going to stay in this one. Coach Ritter, there's a reason he's been doing it for 22 years. Cole Kennan takes the snap. Looking for Donovan Wood. Looks like he's picked up that first down. We'll see where that spot is. And they will give it to him. Well done by Donovan Wood to read that first down marker and get his body right there.
Exactly right. I mean, that's just a great football play to know exactly where the first down marker is, to know that this, you don't need any more yards. You don't need a touchdown right now. And, it's unfortunate. I think the Jumbos sagged off just a little too much, gave him space. It's a good throw by Kennan, and the Panthers escape with just a chance right now.
And Kennan threading it right through that pocket. We're going to send this one to the second quarter. We'll be back with you in just a couple.
At this time, in honor of Veterans Day, can we ask all of the veterans in the crowd to please stand or to make yourselves known? All of the veterans, please stand. On behalf of Tufts football, thank you for your service.
As the second quarter gets underway, excuse me. Cole Kennan looking to punch this one in for the first Middlebury Panthers touchdown of the day. Kennan will not take the snap on this one. Looks like Ben Tauber is also in the game. It's not Tauber. It's number 13 for the Panthers.
That would be Ethan Vachel. It's his that's his 7th rush on the season. Hasn't really done too much when he's had the ball. Are they going to leave? Looks like they will leave him in, but not. He's going to line up next to Kennan, I believe. Yes, he is.
2nd and goal on the 4. Kennan looking to punch this one in. He's got 3 more downs to do so. He takes the snap. He's got a lot of room. Looking to run it himself. Throws it right over the middle of the field, and wide open in the back is Greg Livingston. Greg Livingston picks up the touchdown. 4-yard passing from Cole Kennan at Middlebury. Back on the board. Didn't expect to see them silent for too long.
No, you didn't. That's Greg Livingston's 5th touchdown. It's an interesting read by Kennan. I actually thought he had the whole right side of the field open. If he had gone immediately, I think he could have rushed it in, but we know he's not that much of a runner, but he makes a good read eventually and gets it to Livingston wide open in the back of the end zone, and the Panthers have a chance.
That kick is up and good from Wang.
And we should mention that this is not the first time the Panthers have gone down by 21. They went down 21-0 in their loss to Trinity, and although they ended up losing, they did come back to tie that game at 21 with a chance to take the lead going in on the last play of the game after they gave up a touchdown, but the Banthams missed an extra point. So you cannot rule the Panthers out, especially when they have such a prolific offensive attack. And Sam, we've seen the Jumbos start off strong and go cold before. The Amherst game, of course, comes to mind as a game where they were shut out in the second half and ultimately fell after giving up a 10-point lead.
Absolutely, Scott, and the Jumbos didn't look their best on that last drive, but found a way to get things done. Now, Tony Wang getting ready to kick this one off for the Panthers. A line drive kick out the back of the end zone. It's going to be a touchback. Andre Smith lets it go.
Another thing to note, the wind is now in favor of the Panthers. So if the Jumbos have to punt, they're not going to get that great of a punt. Just the wind, almost certainly the wind's going to knock it down. So if you're in the Panthers mindset, you say, look, if we can get a quick stop here, 3 and out, maybe 1 first down, 3 and out, then they're going to have to kick to us into the wind. It's almost certain we'll have pretty good field position. So all hope is not lost. They really, obviously, one play at a time. It starts with a stop on first down, a stop on second down, another stop on third down.
Now Berluti getting ready to lead the offense once again. His offense has put up 21 points so far. Now with Johnson to his left. And a handoff to Johnson. He runs right through the middle. Nice hole opened up. Johnson trying to push one defender over. Gains about 9 on the play.
And part of that is actually made by Phil Lutz, because what happens is number 46, the defensive back, immediately as the ball is snapped, he's not even looking at the line of scrimmage. He's going straight to Phil Lutz. That's taking just another guy out of the picture and allowing Johnson to get more penetration.
A gain of 9 on the first play of the drive. Sets up 2nd and 1 for the Jumbos. Another handoff to Johnson, who gets tripped up, but it looks like he's got that first down. And a gain of 1 moves the chains for Tufts. Clock will stay running.
And again, like we said, even a first down here, it might not seem like that important. 2-yard rush to get a first down, but after, when you're up big and your opponent just scored, it goes a long way to stunting any momentum they might get, because now at the very least you're putting time between their drives, and now you yourself have an opportunity to fight right back.
We talked about balance on offense. Jumbo's showing it here, running the ball well. Berluti looks to Johnson. Man trying to stand him up in the backfield, and Johnson gets brought down by number 46 of the Panthers. That's Wilson.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is Berluti. He had to wait a bit because you had a defensive lineman jumping in his face, and that allowed Wilson to read that, and it gave him a running start to meet Johnson as soon as he touched the ball. No opportunity for Johnson to spin out. Jumbos will now have to get an extra 4 yards to get that first.
2nd and 14. Cade Moore, the motion man. Berluti takes a snap as Middlebury sends pressure. He dumps it off to Cade Moore over the middle of the field, who's brought down by a bunch of Panthers. Gain of about 9 for Cade Moore, and the Jumbos are going to need about 5, maybe 6. 3rd and 6 set up.
And that's a great read for, by Berluti there, because what he could have just thrown it away. He could have taken a risky shot downfield on someone who wasn't covered. Instead, get yourself 9 yards, and now it's a much more manageable 3rd down. Right, 6. We've seen the Jumbos convert multiple times as they go empty backfield here. No surprise, they're going to pass this ball.
And Billy Dunn looking pretty open on the far sideline. 5 receiver set for the Jumbos. Going to put some pressure on this Panther secondary. Lutz open over the middle of the field. They go instead for Cade Moore in the middle. Cade Moore looking for a flag. It's not coming for him, though. And coming onto the field is going to be Patrick Walsh to punt.
Yeah, the Panthers brought 5 or 6 guys, and that forced Berluti to get it out a bit early. It looked like the defender might have been there just a step early. It's always really tough when you see those wraparound plays, one arm reaching over to get the ball. That part's clean. It's the question of where is the other arm? Was the other arm there early? Hard to tell from our vantage point. Cade Moore sure thought he drew a penalty, but on either instance, Walsh will be out to kick again.
And Rocco Stola set deep for the Panthers. Walsh, the punter. And a strong punt there from Patrick Walsh. Stola calling for danger. Ball gets a little jumbo bounce. And the Panthers are going to pick this one up on their own 16. Good punt there from Patrick Walsh.
And a good bounce right there. That's a big thing, right? We saw it actually in the first punt. It was a bad bounce because it rolled too far forward right into the end zone. But that, on this instance, that's exactly the bounce you're looking for. And the Jumbos will take it, you know, especially, again, kicking into the wind. Now you force the Panthers to go from their own 16. That's a much heftier task than, say, they're starting at their 30 or 35.
Absolutely, Scott. And the Jumbo defense looking to stand strong here after Middlebury marched down the field on the last one. Looked a lot to Donovan Wood. We'll see who they go to now. Handoff on the first one to Lee Charles McNeil. Stood up by the Jumbo line. And a gain of none on first down. It's going to be 2nd down and 10 still.
Yeah, when the Panthers run, it will be Lee Charles McNeil. He's 504 yards on the season. No other player is above 150. But again, when they run is the key word there because they're not going to run it too often. As we saw for very good reason right there. The Jumbos are getting great backfield pressure and can prepare that with a not so great rushing game to begin with. Because you're not going to get too much out of it.
It's Kennan running out right in the flat. Did the Jumbos intercept that one? They deem no catch, but a great job by the Jumbo secondary to read that all the way. On the coverage was Jonathan O'Neill. He thought he was underneath it. Was ready to take it to the house, but they deem no catch. It's going to be 3rd and 9 now for Kennan and the offense. Kennan just telegraphed that one all the way.
Absolutely, and O'Neill knew he dropped it because, he wanted to sell it, but as soon as they made the ruling, you saw, no arms in the air. He just threw the ball right back, but you appreciate the effort nonetheless.
Absolutely, Scott. Now Kennan, 3rd and long, backed up to his own 19. He takes the snap. Jumbos have pressure once again, looking downfield. Well long, though, for Greg Livingston, and the Panthers now are going to be forced to punt. Good pressure by the Jumbos once again, and Cole Kennan looks just a little off balance throwing that ball deep.
Yeah, that's the 2nd or 3rd time we've seen that exact route, and he's been off by a few feet. That one was even worse. Again, when you're down, when you're down by 2 touchdowns, you can almost feel the pressure getting you. You feel like you have to make a perfect ball because if you do, you can lead him into the end zone. But the problem is when you do that, you're more likely to err on the side of too far and trying to lead him too far, and that's the worst thing you can do because now it's an incomplete pass, and now you got to punt once more.
Cole Kreider, the punter for the Panthers. He's got the wind behind him. Takes the snap and a line drive punt almost blocked by the Jumbos. Takes a Panther roll, though. Still going all the way down to the Jumbo 27, excuse me. And a really great punt there from Cole Kreider to flip the field.
Yes, but at the same time, the way it's setting up, pretty much every time they punt, we're going to have to be on punt block watch because that is, you're right, it's such a line drive. If you get any pressure, you get a hand up, it's much, much easier to block than if you're kicking it really straight up in the air. Obviously, when you get it off for that very reason, you get that kind roll and you get a great punt. But if it's blocked, and it is much easier to block, then all of a sudden the field flips real fast.
Billy Dunn still in there for Jaden Richardson. Looked like an ankle injury earlier. Richardson still without his helmet. Tyler Johnson, the rush right. Gets brought down by a couple of Panthers on a gain of about 3. All the way out to the Jumbo 30. Adu Diawu on the stop for the Panthers. Now Berluti on 2nd and 7. He's got a 4-receiver set with Johnson to his right. Hands off to Johnson again. No, takes it himself. Another read option. Had me fooled. Gets brought down in the secondary, though, by Rocco Stola.
Berluti loses his helmet, and I think that means he has to come out for one play, if I'm not mistaken, and indeed he does.
Coming in is going to be Luke Leongas for the play. Matt Crowley injured last game. So Leongas now the number 2. Johnson, Leongas is right. Full receiver set for him. Leongas hands off Johnson. Johnson gets brought down behind the line. A lot of pushing. Looks like a loss of about 2.
It's a killer with that helmet rule. Obviously, it's in the name of player safety. They want to make sure that the helmet is not broken. The problem is when you put the backup quarterback in, Panthers almost certainly know, especially on first down, you're going to run the ball. And that's exactly what happened there. And they were able to, bull rush the running back there and loss of, we'll believe, 2 to make it 2nd and 12.
Berluti's got his 4 receiver set in there with Johnson to his left. Takes a snap. Middlebury sends some pressure. And a catch there, still fighting for yards. Looked like it was Jackson Butler. It's going to be 3rd and short for the Jumbos, and they're running the hurry up. Berluti takes a snap, immediate handoff to Johnson, who runs left and picks up the first down, moves the chains on a gain of 2.
Second time we saw that, where it's 3rd and short, the Jumbos went hurry up and ran the ball immediately to Johnson. And even if you know it's coming, and again, you don't allow the defensive line, the linebackers, to set, to close the gaps, and it's going to almost guarantee you a quick 2 yards. Nothing more, but you only need 2 yards there. It's great recognition by Berluti and Coach Civetti to push the Jumbos right over midfield into Panther territory.
Jumbo sent 2 tight ends in the game. Phil Lutz has a lot of space on the near sideline. Berluti hands off to Johnson, who's got a hole on the right side. Johnson still on his feet. Takes a nice cut, but gets tripped up all the way down to the to the Panther 15 about. Really great run from Tyler Johnson, hitting the hole hard, cutting up field, and taking a good angle. Just barely tripped up by the Panthers.
And a great job by Berluti and the rest of the offensive line to sell the possibility of a quarterback keeper. So much space for Johnson there.
They'll hand off to Johnson once again. He'll run right. Brought down by some Panthers. Gain of a 34 on the previous run for Johnson. Gain of about 4 there.
It's all about making this offense two-dimensional. We've seen the passing game to start, and now all of a sudden they're bringing the running game to pair with it.
That's right, Scott. Bringing the running game to pair with it and running that hurry-up offense to keep this defense off-balanced, right? Middlebury has done a pretty good job staying disciplined when the Jumbos have dialed it back. Of course, can't do much when Phil Lutz is beating you, but with those open field moves. But now Berluti in the offense looking to set things up again.
Lutz might be one-on-one on the side.
They dial it back. Berluti takes a snap, immediately looks for Lutz. And throws into double coverage. Ill-advised throw from Michael Berluti. But Lutz bounces right back up. It's going to be 3rd and 7 for this Jumbo squad.
Yeah, that's the first decision Berluti's made that I think we both looked at each other and said, don't do that. It was double coverage, and he was staring down Lutz the entire time. The problem was if Lutz is one-on-one, he'll have that throw. But with someone lurking underneath, as we saw right there, the saving grace was Berluti intentionally threw it super high, so that would be a very difficult interception. But if you're already doing that to avoid the pick, then it's not a good read in the first place. Jumbos will definitely get away with that one. Can't look at Lutz that strongly and then expect to get away with it on every play.
4 receiver set. Cade Moore, the motion man. Looks like the Jumbos may attack the middle of the field. Has Butler open. Instead goes for his main man, Lutz. And Lutz, his 3rd touchdown of the day. Unbelievable game already from Phil Lutz. That's 3 to the tally and a hat trick for him.
And the most impressive thing is we've seen Phil Lutz make, those first 2 touchdowns, he made unbelievable open field moves. On that play, he just set up in the perfect spot. He's just such a good all-around receiver to be able to make those moves, but also have the intelligence to know here's exactly where the zone is lining up. Here's the soft spot in the zone. If I stay right here and my quarterback throws me a strike, which we know he will, then I'll have a guaranteed touchdown. And Phil Lutz is showing us why he is making a case for NESCAC Player of the Year.
Vaughn Seelig's kick is up and good. Seelig 4 of 4 on extra points on the year. On the game. Tufts leads 28 to Middlebury 7, and Michael Berluti having himself a day. 4 passing touchdowns. Lutz the beneficiary with 3 of them. Jackson Butler the 4th. Now Middlebury looking to answer, but this defense has really gone cold for Middlebury. We'll see if Cole Kennan can heat them back up. Sometimes the best defense is a little bit of offense.
Absolutely, and Sam, this is the second time all season that the Panthers have given up more than 27 points. The first time was last week against Hamilton. So clearly something's changed for the Panthers. You know, they were holding teams pretty consistently under 20 points, even in their games that they lost under 25 points. Now they go to Hamilton, they gave up 34, and now albeit that was a lot of it was in garbage time, still against the Hamilton team that's not very good this year. Then they come here, and I mean, they haven't had any answers. Last 2 weeks, something's happened with that defense that they need to figure out fast.
A short kick, Middlebury's going to run it out, but brought down by a couple of Jumbo defenders.
And again, the one benefit, of many benefits, is when you have such a big lead. I mean, you can play it safe, right? You don't need to, stuff the line if you think they run on first down. You can live with a 4-yard rush on the first down because Middlebury already is facing the clock. They're already facing the reality that they can't stop the Jumbos, and so they can't really be trading, field goals for points here. They need touchdowns each and every possession. The Jumbos are okay. If it takes 8 minutes to do that, then so be it. That's still a net benefit for the Bows.
And a rough snap from Kennan. He hands off to his man. He's still on his feet. A good run there from the Panther. That's Ethan Vachel.
Okay, maybe you don't want to give up that long of a run. But even so, I mean, the Jumbos, I don't think you change anything scheme-wise because of that. Again, a missed tackle here or there, it comes back to bite you, but you still had the setup there to tackle him after a couple-yard gain.
After only 2 attempts on the season, Ethan Vachel's picked up a couple in this one. And a drop snap there from Kennan. Not a broken play, though, when you have Anson Clow. And Clow just short of that first down marker.
Clow 6'7". That is a big tight end right there. And inevitably, even if you don't create separation, you're just so tall, you are walking separation, right? People can't reach around you. You can reach up above them. And, of course, you can break tackles. You can just have people bounce off you.
Maybe Clow belongs on the basketball court as well, but good catch from him. Now Kennan drops back. Has a man deep. A lot of time for Cole Kennan. Jumbos finally penetrate the line, and he throws it away.
Yeah, you only have 2 receivers really past the line of scrimmage there. It's an interesting play call, and I don't like it, if I'm being honest. The Panthers had 2 receivers, and they're both going deep, and they end up converging towards each other to the point where you had now every single Jumbo defender in the secondary in the same spot. There's never going to be anyone open there. Another thing to note, that's the 3rd straight low snap. The first 2 are bobbled. That one, Cole Kennan was able to grab, but 3 straight is definitely a problem.
Kennan now. 3 receiver set with Clow. A back in there, that's Vachel. They hand it off to him, but the Jumbos sniffed that one right out, and on the tackle looked like Dom DiCrescenzo, number 99 in for the Jumbos. Good stop from the Jumbos, but Panthers still going to go for it here on 4th down. It's going to be 4th and 3. Coach Bob Ritter, again, there's a reason he's been at the helm for this long. An aggressive call here from the Panthers, but he's trusting in his quarterback, Cole Kennan. Vachel's had some success, too, at the running back position. 4 receiver set for the Panthers. Kennan drops back. Jumbo send pressure. Kennan's going to try to do it himself, and he does pick it up. It was Shane Reiner on the tackle, but just couldn't get there early enough. Kennan picks it up on the gain of 4. Don't see him do it with his legs a whole lot, but figuring it out there.
No, right around 25 yards going into this game on the ground, but you know what? You're down 28-7. This is what we call, emergency. You need to get that first down one way or another. Put your body on the line. It's a great read by Cole Kennan, to fix a broken play and reset the downs. And, again, keep Middlebury just barely in this game.
Kennan with Vachel to his right. Another low snap. Kennan gets it out quickly, though, to his man. That's Donovan Wood once again. Donovan Wood, though, just still short of that first down gain of about 6, maybe 7.
And I think for the Panthers, that's actually probably the best thing they can do is, you don't want to give the Jumbos any more time before the half. You want to get into the half and make adjustments. The Panthers are a very good second-half team.
All the way out to the Jumbo 35. Pass in the backfield for Vachel, but the Jumbos see that one all the way. They're going to bring up a long 3rd down. Good tackle from the Jumbos. Looked like O.J. Armstrong.
And also a generous spot. It looked like to me he broke the first tackle, and that should have reset the forward progress, but they'll give him a yard. Even so, it's still 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8.
3rd and 8 for the Panthers now. Again, broke that tackle, which is what shed that forward progress call. Now Panthers backed up 3rd and long here. Looks like they'll probably go for it anyway. Kennan looking over the middle of the field, and a bad pass, lucky to get away with it, incomplete. Greg Livingston feeling the hurt after that. Good job by the Jumbos getting in. It was Jonathan O'Neill on the coverage.
And you're right, that play is designed for them to go on 4th down because, you know, the throw's coming out super fast and it's coming out before the line of scrimmage. They intended to go for the 4th down no matter what, and this is no matter what. 4th and 8, not exactly an easy, you know, down to go, and they're still going to go for it. Again, it makes sense. You have to at this point.
Absolutely, Scott. Now Cole Kennan, 4th and 8. On the Jumbo 39, the Jumbo send pressure, looking over the middle of the field.
Yep.
Looking for a flag, and they'll get it.
Yep.
Donovan Wood didn't really look catchable to me, Scott.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but, you know, usually in the open field, if it's anywhere close, they're going to give it to him. They don't bring the uncatchable out too often unless it's on the sideline. And there was definitely illegal contact there before the ball reached the receiver. You know, I think it's a great play call. Bring the house, force him to get the ball out. You know, knowing full well they're probably running a few short routes. Unfortunate that the illegal contact kind of wipes that play call away. Another, you know, and Middlebury again just hanging on by a thread. You know, convert that 4th down on the run. Now they'll get the 1st down off the pass interference.
Now the Panthers on the Jumbo 33. Kennan takes the snap.
Oh,
looking deep, has a man wide open over the middle of the field. That's a beautiful catch there from Jamin. Almost dropped it, but Jamin pulling it in for the touchdown, puts another 6 on the board for the Panthers on a 33-yard touchdown connection between Cole Kennan and Patrick Jamin.
It's the same thing again, right, Sam? I mean, when you leave all 3 of their, you know, kind of prolific receivers open on one-on-ones, the odds that all 3 are covered are not great. And the problem is when you don't get pressure on the QB, it's, you know, and you have a good quarterback back there in Cole Kennan, he's going to be able to find it. You saw it right there. Jamin, you're right, almost dropped that, but it's a good read by Cole Kennan. And Middlebury, again, hanging on by a thread.
Wang's extra point is no good, and the Middlebury kicker struggles continue. They've tried Zach Levy, hasn't been up to the challenge. They tried Andrew Haas, hasn't been much better. And Wang struggling today as well. Definitely a devastating blow for the Panthers that could come back to bite them. But always the option to go for 2 later in the game. Still a lot of time left. 2:53 left to go in the half. Tony Wang set to kick off for the Panthers. Andre Smith to return. Wind behind Wang and the Panthers.
Tony Wang is set to kick off for the Panthers.
Wang, another line drive kick over the head of the Jumbos and out the back of the end zone.
Touchback on the kickoff, and the Jumbos will take over.
Jumbos are going to take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 25. Looking to put some more points on the board before the end of the half. They lead 28-13. 4 passing touchdowns for the Jumbos and Michael Berluti. Lutz, 3 receiving touchdowns. Jackson Butler, the other receiving touchdown. Tyler Johnson has also had himself a day on the ground. 12 attempts for 62 net yards. And now Berluti looking to get things going for this Jumbo squad. Takes it himself. Gets hit after a gain of about 7. Little read option there. Berluti taking it himself.
This is a huge possession for Middlebury. It's by far the biggest defensively because if you can stop the Jumbos here, you get the ball at half, and all of a sudden you could be talking about a 1-possession game, but that only comes from being able to shut them down right here.
Berluti out to Lutz. Lutz drops it, and incomplete.
That's huge for 2 reasons. 1, it stops the clock. So this could benefit either team, but especially if Middlebury is able to stop them here, huge benefit for the Panthers. 2 is, you know, Lutz wasn't going to get a lot off that, but I think he had enough if he went around the edge for the 1st down. So it's a tough, kind of the first bad break for Lutz on what's otherwise been an unbelievable game.
And Scott, both teams still with 3 timeouts. Berluti takes a snap. Middlebury sends a bunch, hands it off to Johnson, who keeps those legs moving, but it looks like he's going to be short of that first down. 4th and 1 for Tufts. We'll see if Coach Savetti stays aggressive and wants to go for it, but it looks like Walsh may be headed out there with the punting unit.
A lot of indecision. Yeah, you got to punt this. You can't at this stage of the game. You're going to kick it. By the time the Panthers get it, they'll have about 1:20 to go. You just have to have confidence. I think you're just too far back in your own territory to justify going for it. If you were maybe 10 or 15 yards further, that would change things.
And punting into the wind is Patrick Walsh with Rocco Stola set back deep. Jumbos are going to try to run this one down as much as they can. Walsh. And kicks it right into the line. Not the break that the Jumbos wanted. Walsh picks it up, tries to run, and does not. He gets brought down on the brutal break for the Jumbos. The Panthers catch one. 1:29 left to go in the half. Looked like Walsh just kicked it right into the back of his own player.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, with the wind, knowing it's going to be a tough kick, you get in your own head. You don't want to kick it too high because then it really will get caught with the wind, but you can't have that. You absolutely can't have that. Not in this situation. And now Middlebury has unbelievable field position. They have plenty of time with their 3 timeouts. They are in no rush. And they can make this a one-possession game with them lined up to get the ball after half.
Kennan now looking to get things going for Middlebury. Looking deep on the first play. Jumbo sends some pressure. Wide open over the middle of the field is Anson Clow. And coming right back on the first play is Cole Kennan connecting with Clow, the 6'7" tight end, on the 28-yard touchdown for the Middlebury Panthers. And they brought this one back within 1 possession. We'll see if they're going to go for 2 here.
What a what a throw by Cole Kennan. I mean, what a window. You had 2 Jumbos running at each other from opposite sides. It's a tight window in there, and Cole Kennan hit it perfectly. Unbelievable throw, and a risky one, too. Gained the situation, but, he's been great all season. He continues to be great.
Tony Wang now. Rough snap. Good hold. And the extra point is up and good. So the Panthers now trail by 8 here in the second quarter. Not the break that the Jumbos would have wanted. And Patrick Walsh kicking it off the back of his own player. Definitely struggling. And brutal break for the Jumbos. But the Panthers able to capitalize. And Scott, you said it before. The Panthers have played great from behind and coming right back, taking advantage of the miscue.
Right. Their entire, if they had a team philosophy, it would be bend, don't break. Right. We see that defensively where they're used to being behind on time of possession. They're used to giving up more first downs than achieving some themselves. And they just hold teams when it matters most. And you see it right here. They bent pretty much as far as they could go, going down 21-0. But they are a resilient bunch, playing for their coach today. And they're now only down 1 possession with 1:22. Obviously, plenty of time for the Jumbos, but at the very least, if the Jumbos don't score here, now the Panthers will have the ball with the opportunity to tie. I mean, talk about how the game changes. About 10 minutes ago, we would have laughed at that.
That's right, Scott. 1:22 left on the clock here in this first half. Jumbo's still a prolific passing offense, and they've beat the Panthers through the long ball a couple of times. Andre Smith is going to take a knee in his own end zone for the touchback. Jumbo's going to start this one on their own 25 now. 1:22 left to go in the half. Michael Berluti and the offense will march back out there. Both teams still with 3 timeouts, so it will be interesting to see how the Jumbos decide to manage that clock here.
Absolutely, and both quarterbacks have really been outstanding. Kennan made a couple bad reads in the first going of things. Since, though, he's been much, much better. 12 completions in the day for 174 yards and 3 touchdowns. Berluti already has 4 passing touchdowns. So, this is an offensive battle. It's an exciting way to end the season.
Absolutely, Scott. Love to see a shootout. Berluti takes the snap. First play, looking over the field for Lutz, but good coverage from Middlebury. Berluti had to fire a low ball. Lutz unable to reel it in.
Right, Berluti had to throw low because of the front, the defensive line getting up in his face. Lutz made a great read to shed the defender who was shadowing him underneath, so he opened up that window, but Berluti wasn't able to get it off the ground enough. And, Sam, one quick danger. If you go 3 and out here or throwing incompletions, you actually do give the Panthers enough time with their 3 timeouts to come back at you. So that also has to be a consideration.
Panthers send some pressure. Berluti running right through it. He's going to take it himself and gets out of bounds after picking up that first down. Michael Berluti doing it with his legs. Gain of 11 for him.
Perfect read by Berluti. Able to get that first down, and most importantly, he knew he'd be able to get out of bounds pretty easily. Stop that clock, and now you reset the downs with the clock intact, with your timeouts intact. Resets the entire equation.
And it's exactly what this Jumbo offense needed, trying to pick up some steam here at the end of the first half. Jumbo squad still missing Jaden Richardson. The junior receiver went out earlier with a leg injury. Berluti takes the snap. Over the middle of the field, look for Billy Dunn. Dunn can't reel it in, though.
Flag in the backfield. I think it's going to be holding based on the way they're talking. Yeah, and Jumbo's already backing up. I think the question is, do they want to accept and reset the downs or decline?
Offense, number 63, 10-yard penalty, first down.
And that's a hold on Blair Horning. Not what you want from the senior center. Definitely breaking some of that offensive momentum after the gain of 11 from Berluti. Backs him back up. First and 20 now.
But both teams have played a pretty clean game. 2 penalties on the Jumbos, 1 on the Panthers. So overall, it hasn't factored in too much. It's been clean. Clean offensive shootout.
Middlebury sends some pressure. Berluti's got a whole lot of space. Fakes the pass, runs it himself. Has a nice block from Jackson Butler and picking up that first down on a gain of 21 for Michael Berluti. He's doing it all with his legs on this drive. He's got 32 rushing yards on it and really saying, guys, I don't need you to hold for me. I got it. I'm out the way.
Yeah, I don't think he appreciated that the refs took away his previous 10, so he said, give me that right back and then some, and that's exactly what he did. And another great read. First of all, you're right. He faked the pass. He kept the linebackers in the middle of the field, and then he was able to get out of bounds. That's perfect.
And underratedly, a great block from Jackson Butler to allow him to pick up that first down. Berluti takes the snap. Over the middle of the field, Jackson Butler grabs it with his left hand behind him, picks up a first down of his own, and he'll run out of bounds, stop the clock on the 49. A display of hands for this Jumbo squad. Jackson Butler, the left behind him. Earlier we saw Jeremy Zuniga on the interception with one hand, really just showing it off, getting on that jugs machine for sure.
Jackson Butler needed one hand and one thigh, and that was enough for a first down.
Berluti takes the snap, looking downfield. He's going to run it himself. Once again, Michael Berluti, so much green in front of him, decides to take a hit rather than going down. Still plenty of time, 38 seconds left in the half. Berluti runs it all the way down to the Middlebury 20. Middlebury 15. I can't read.
The only thing I ask if you're Michael Berluti is, can you please slide? There's no need there to take that hit to go straight into 2 defenders. I understand it's the last game of the season, but you've got 3 timeouts. The 2 yards aren't going to make the difference right there if you slide versus you dive head on in, but the injury definitely will. But at the very least, a 26-yard run that now makes it, I believe, 61 yards on the drive. Pretty impressive for Michael Berluti. Talk about a 2-dimensional offense. If you can't get the running game going traditionally, you can bring out the QB run, and that's just as good, if not better, because then it keeps you open. It keeps the both dimensions open, even after you've already established that it's a passing play. And
fascinating, Scott. This is exactly the way that the Panthers attacked the Jumbos last year with Jernigan, the dual-threat quarterback, Berluti dual-threat himself. 84 yards on the ground and 188 yards through the air. So Michael Berluti putting it all on display for this Jumbo squad. The sophomore quarterback really working wonders for this Jumbo offense. 38 seconds left. Jumbo's on the Panther 16, 1st and 10. 4 receivers set in for the Jumbos. Billy Dunn in motion. He gets set. They send Johnson in motion. Caught by Phil Lutz. And another catch for him. Gain of about 7 for Lutz. And Coach Savetti's going to take another timeout.
And again, the one key thing that Michael Berluti did, especially on those first 2 runs, is he got out of bounds. It saved your timeouts, and now you have 3 timeouts at the 15. That allows you to bring out, short passing plays, run plays if you really wanted to. because you have the timeouts. So as you've seen right there, that's been 2 timeouts the Jumbos have burned off of running plays or short passing plays, and they can do that because they have the timeouts. Now with 1 left, you do start to think about, okay, maybe we got to focus a little more on the sidelines or the end zone. But even so, with 30 seconds, that's plenty of time in the short field to get the offensive line up there. If you get a first down, spike it, you got plenty of time to do that.
And it'd be a good time to look at our red zone statistics now for the Jumbos, as they are in that red zone. 23 of 33 in the red zone, 70%. 20 of 33 of those have been touchdowns. So, 20 of those 23 scores have been touchdowns. So we'll see if the Jumbos can get it in there. 2nd and 4 on the 10. 30 seconds left in the game. 1 timeout left for the Jumbos, 3 for the Panthers.
And Sam, going into this game, the Panthers were a very good defensive red zone team. They'd only allowed 15 scores on their 26 attempts for 57% conversion.
They're going to hand it off to Johnson, who runs through the middle. Looks like he may be just short of that first down.
Yeah, it's an interesting call. I think I understand. Again, you open up the opportunity. I just don't know, right? Because it's entirely contingent on you getting the first down and getting that clock stopped. If you don't get the first down, now you're burning a timeout, and now it's 3rd down. I understand it. I think the timeouts allow you to open up the possibility of a Berluti run, and you want to open that avenue. Not so sure about the designed Johnson run right there, especially into the middle of the field where he's going to get down in bounds, barring a touchdown.
Of course, you trust your senior running back, and you trust your offensive line as well. But Tyler Johnson unable to pick up that first down. 3rd and 1 now for the Jumbos, and they burn their last timeout. So 24 seconds left. Definitely an interesting call by Coach Savetti to run that with Johnson. But, of course, a lot of trust in that senior running back, who has been excellent for the Jumbos so far. We saw him break off a 34-yarder earlier in the game.
Absolutely, and given that you've done that, I honestly wouldn't be shocked if they did it again, because at the very least, you'll get the clock stoppage if you get a first down, right? But I hope they don't, because if you don't get the first down, then you have to rush the field goal unit out. So I'd be surprised if they didn't pass.
Now Berluti takes a snap, hands off to Johnson. Rather takes it himself. Looks like they're going to pick up that first down, and the Jumbos are going to rush to the line. Of course, while that ball's getting set, now they run the clock, and Berluti spikes it right away, so it's going to be 2nd and goal on the 3 for the Panthers. Jumbos have a couple of plays now that they could run. Of course, not exactly sure if they're going to continue with the run or decide to go through the air. Already 4 passing touchdowns on the day.
Yeah, another interesting rush there on 3rd down, like we talked about. I do like the idea of keeping it to Berluti. I think he's just better. He's more shifty at getting that short down yardage. He knows exactly where to reach. It puts a lot of faith in your running back and in your quarterback, but it's rewarded there. Now you have 3 yards to go to get into the end zone. I don't think they'll run it, because that would require a spike, and you don't have the downs to do that. I think they should pass.
2nd and 3 for the Jumbos. Johnson in motion. Berluti over the middle of the field, has a man wide open, and that's Phil Lutz once again. 4 touchdowns for Phil Lutz in the game, and the Berluti to Lutz connection has been stellar. 4 between the two of them, 5 overall for Berluti, and 34 points on the board in the first half. Seelick trying to make it 35.
Yeah, we'll have to see the replay, but someone on the Jumbos, I couldn't tell what receiver it was, ran a great pick play to free Lutz. The coverage wasn't bad, but the coverage simply ran into whatever receiver that was. And I think both cornerbacks were looking for a pass interference. They don't get it.
Seelick's extra point is up and good. He's 5 of 5 on the day. Really great day for the first-year kicker. And an even better job by the Jumbos to punch that in the red zone. Great throw by Berluti, great catch by Lutz. The Jumbos lead by 15, getting ready to kick this one off. Looks like the Panthers are going to settle to send this to the second half.
You know, on one hand, if you were talking about the end of the first quarter, you'd say the Panthers should be happy to be here. Down only 2 scores with the ball. On the other hand, given where they were about 3 minutes ago, this is very disappointing. Really disappointing, because, I mean, they were about to shut down the Jumbos, right? And they did. They did shut them down. They were able to convert it to 1-possession game. To give this up and to really, give it up by Berluti running, it doesn't bode well for the second half, because now you've opened up yet another dimension of the Tufts offense that had been a little quieter so far, that design QB run or that, improvised QB run. it's going to be harder to stop as the second half rolls around.
Walsh to kick off for the Jumbos, and the wind affecting that tee. There's Walsh on another line drive kick. He struggled to get that up in the air lately. Rocco Stola trying to return. He gets brought down by Cam O'Brien.
And I'd be pretty shocked if Middlebury did anything but kneel here with 6 seconds to go. No need to take any foolish risks down 2 touchdowns with the opportunity to make it 1 right out of the half.
That's right, Scott. Cam O'Brien and the senior David Barrios in on the stop. Barrios, the senior from Lynn, Massachusetts. Love to see him out on the field on his last game. And Kennan will take a knee and send this one to the second half. Scott, first half over. The Jumbos lead 35-20. We'll be back in about 20 minutes, but the Tufts cheer team will be out there for a couple of minutes giving their halftime performance. Check back in about 20 for the second half of this football game.
Fans, at this time, please direct your attention to midfield for a presentation of Senior Day for our Tufts cheerleaders. The Tufts cheerleaders constantly bring energy, spirit, and excitement to the sidelines, and we'd like to honor those seniors today. First, Katie Darvin, a head captain. Darvin is a psychology major, studio minor in sociology, and food systems and nutrition, and has been part of the team for 4 years. Katie Darvin. Next, Ashley Deegan, a competition captain. Deegan is a mechanical and engineering major with a minor in Chinese. She has been part of the team for 4 years. Ashley Deegan. Next, Amanda Gans, a film and media studies major with minors in entrepreneurship and French. She has been a member of the team for 4 years and is escorted by her mother, Susan Gans. Amanda Gans. Next, Carolina Lopes, a biochemistry major. Lopes has been a member of the team for 2 years and is joined today by sister Matilda. Carolina Lopes. Next, Jake Sturham, a computer science major. Sturham has minors in mathematics and engineering management and has been a part of the team for 4 years. Jake Sturham. Next, Lizzie Goldstein, a biochemistry major with minors in entrepreneurship and biotechnology. She has been part of the team for 4 years and is joined by parents Dr. Joanne Pratt and Dr. Michael Goldstein. Lizzie Goldstein. Next, Tawny Stinson, a 2-year member of the team. Stinson is a biopsychology major. Tawny Stinson. Next, Ananya Jain, a combined degree program majoring in history and studio art. Jane has been part of the team for this year. Ananya Jain. Next, Jonah D'Alessandro, a 2-year member of the team. Jonah is a mechanical engineering major. Jonah D'Alessandro. Lastly, we'd like to honor Jumbo, celebrating with our seniors in spirit. The person inside the suit is a senior, but we'll celebrate them in anonymity. Fans, Jumbo! Fans, let's have another round of applause for the Tufts cheerleading seniors. And stay tuned as the cheerleading team will perform for you at halftime.
Do I have your attention? Do I have your attention? Do I have your attention? 3, 2. Don't show up. Don't come out. Don't stop caring. Don't be mad. Walk away. You know how. Don't stop caring. Don't be mad. You don't wanna see we about to go on. When the speakers go loud, loud, loud. Everybody turn around. It's about to go down, down, down. Let's go. Do I have your attention? Do I have your attention?
Welcome back to the Ellis Oval for the second half of this Tufts University football game. Again, facing off against the Middlebury Panthers in the first half. Jumbos had quite the offensive performance. They lead 35-20, and I feel a bit negligent to not have looked at this records email before the game, but looking at it now, Berluti has taken the individual passing yards in a season record, the individual passing touchdowns in a season record. Phil Lutz has taken the Tufts record for individual receptions in a season, broken his own record for individual receiving yards in a season, and now holds the record for touchdowns in a single game with 4. The team has also collectively earned the record for passing yards in a game, passing touchdowns in a game, total or passing yards in a season, passing touchdowns in a season, total offense in a season, and points scored in a season. So really, the prolific offense we've seen all year and rewriting the record books.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, Sam, I can't really count that high. I don't know how many records you just read off, but it sounded like a lot to me. And it's reflected on the scoreboard. You know, they're putting up 35 points in the first half. But, you know, it'll be interesting to see, of course. Middlebury did play a little better in the second half, and so we'll have to see where that goes.
And Middlebury kicking with the wind to start the second. Middlebury kicking with the wind in the second half. It's going to go over the head of Andre Smith, and the scary part, Scott, is that the Jumbos are now getting the ball once again after marching down the field with less than 2 minutes left to go. And Michael Berluti is going to come out with this offensive unit once again.
Absolutely. We'll have to see how it sets up, you know, what they did in the second half.
Berluti now getting ready to lead this offense once again. Hands off to Johnson on the first play, who rushes left. Gets brought down by the Middlebury defense, though. Good carry from Tyler Johnson, and a Panther player is down. He hops right back up. A gain of 5 for the Jumbos. 2nd and 5 now. Still a pretty balanced attack from the Jumbos in the first half. 197 passing yards for Michael Berluti and over 150 rushing yards in the first half as well. Berluti now. Looking for Lutz immediately. And Lutz picks up the first down, beats his man, and Lutz wide open in the open field. Will he take this to the house? Phil Lutz, another touchdown, his 5th of the game, and Phil Lutz has done it. He has broken the NESCAC all-time single-season record for receiving yards on the opening drive of the second half. A beautiful open field move from Phil Lutz, and he's done it.
Sam, we were trying our best to not even mention it on air. We didn't want to jinx it. We were worried, will he get there? Well, in 1 minute, our questions have been answered. What a move by Phil Lutz. Again, he broke 2 tackles immediately to get to the end zone. He just streaks right down the sideline. Unbelievable.
And on the second play of the drive, Phil Lutz warms our hearts. Congratulations to Phil Lutz, the senior from North Caldwell, New Jersey. The extra point is up and good for Vaughn Seelick. Seelick has also broken the record for point after completions or conversions. So congratulations to the first year, Vaughn Seelick. It's easy when they give you that many opportunities, but you've got to hit them, and Vaughn Seelick has done just that. Huge congratulations to both Vaughn Seelick and Phil Lutz. The all-time single-season record for receiving yards belongs to Phil Lutz and the Tufts Jumbos.
Before going into the season, we said, how can Phil Lutz, beat last season? He set school records. He was, averaging well over 100 yards. Well, that's your answer. He can average over 100 yards per game going into this game, and then he can score 5 touchdowns in the span of 31 minutes of game time.
Really impressive performance from the Jumbos and their offense. Missed tackle from Middlebury. Jumbos taking advantage of it. Middlebury on the short kick, wind against the Jumbos. They get brought down. It's number 57, Marcus Kreidler, the linebacker, catching the kick. Well done by the Jumbos on the opening drive to march down the field on 2 plays. Now 14:05 for the Panthers. Panthers have come back from leads this large in the season. So now it's going to be Cole Kennan looking to get things going for this Middlebury offense. How can they respond? At a low snap, Jumbo sends some pressure. Kennan still looking to get around it. And there's a tackle and a forced fumble from E.J. Comerford. And the Jumbos are going to take that one to the house for another 6 points. Play after play, and Michael Berluti is loving it. Running all the way down to the end zone. Couldn't see who picked it up. But the Jumbos are going to take it to the house.
Well, it's yet another example of the Jumbos putting pressure on the quarterback. We talked about it as a pregame key. It helps when the snaps are at his ankles, which has happened, unfortunately, to Cole Kenner well too many times today. A fumbled snap, he recovers, but it sets the whole play off. He's not able to hang on to the ball, and the Jumbos will take it and house it for another touchdown.
And a really excellent job by Matty Druliart to scoop and score. E.J. Comerford, the one forcing the fumble, as Vaughn Seelick's next extra point is up and no good. A little bit too much adrenaline for the first-year kicker. Jumbos lead now 48-20, and their lead has gone back to 28. Another largest lead of the day for the Jumbos, and a 48-point performance. 6 of 7 on PATs as Vaughn Seelick. And the Jumbos continue to dominate coming out of the second half, coming out of the first half, starting the second one with some fire. Now Pat Walsh to kick off for the Jumbos. 13:52 left on the clock for the Panthers. In the third quarter, of course, and the wind blows the ball off the tee once again. Walsh puts it back on the tee and getting ready to kick it. And it falls off the tee.
Maybe the one thing that's gone right for the Panthers today.
Brutally honest is my color commentator, Scott Blatt.
And that might not have been fair. I mean, the offense for the Panthers hasn't been too shabby, especially excluding that last play right there. I mean, they had 3 touchdowns through the air. They were putting a lot of pressure on the Jumbos towards the end of the second half. Just not exactly what you wanted to see to start this second half. I mean, they had a great shot if they could get a stop, and then all of a sudden it's 14 straight points.
Walsh's kick is up into the wind. The Panthers getting brought down by a bunch of Jumbo defenders. On special teams, a nice tackle there. Now Middlebury looking to get things going. After the miscue on the previous drive, set up a scoop and score. Now Cole Kennan looking to get things going for Middlebury. Trailing by 4 touchdowns. Kennan gets brought down by E.J. Comerford. Another sack for the Jumbos.
Kennan is sacked by E.J. Comerford.
And this Jumbo defense has looked strong here against the Panthers in the second half. A scoop and score and a sack there for Comerford. Comerford forcing the fumble on the previous possession.
There's no way to quantify momentum, but when, you come out and you score 14 points in the span of about a minute, I mean, you just, you feel different, right? Your legs are moving different. Your head, you're in the zone. I mean, that's exactly what we're seeing right now. One team locked in and one team just straight up frazzled.
Kennan trying to settle his squad.
I'm not sure. I think we might have a delay of game. Again, talk about being, frazzled and not locked in. You can, on a 2nd and 17, or what was a 2nd and 17, you cannot have that. You're trying to get back into the game. I mean, didn't seem like there was any urgency whatsoever on the Panther side.
It'll be 2nd and 22 for the Panthers.
They're starting this one at the Middlebury 23, 2nd and 22. Jumbo send pressure again. Have Livingston in the backfield. They'll get it to him, but a gain of not many.
Yeah, you could not many. You could say that again, Sam. I mean, they were 3rd and about 22. I don't think they gained any to begin with. Or no, 3rd and 25. They're going to give them a loss of 3 there. So what have we seen so far from the offense? 1 play fumble, 3 plays, minus 15 yards. That is not what you want to see to start a half. You're supposed to come out, make all the halftime adjustments. At the very least, look, give some different looks. They're giving a different look, all right. It's gone from a competent offense to really an incompetent one.
The Jumbos are going to drop back, play some prevent here on this 3rd and super long. Oh, and almost an excellent catch there from the Middlebury receiver. He's still down. Dismay that he didn't catch it. It was intended for Greg Livingston.
Yeah, and it was a good throw, and I think that's the only place you can put it. You had another defensive back going ahead of Livingston, so you had to throw to the back shoulder, and he almost did come down with a pretty impressive catch.
Now 4th and 25. And a good punt there. Barely trickles into the end zone. Cole Kreider with an 80-yard punt.
Yeah, it was almost too good of a punt. You don't expect that type of roll being that far back in your own end zone. And you saw, I mean, the special teams, the Gunners just weren't able to get there in time. They were about a half second off, unfortunately. And that would have been a very good, big, possible momentum swing to pin the Jumbos back at, 1 or 2 yard line. Instead, they'll start at their 20. Not the field position has mattered too much. We know the Jumbos have had the better field position throughout the game, but, I mean, they've been able to score from wherever and whenever so far.
Now Berluti's going to march out onto the field, starting this one on his own 20. First and 10 for Berluti and the Jumbos. Hands off to Johnson, who runs left. Johnson brought down after a gain of 4. Out to the Jumbo 24-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and 6 for Tyler Johnson.
for the Jumbos.
Now Berluti going more to a ground-based attack with the Jumbos. Again, 2nd and 6 on the Jumbo 24-yard line. Hands off to Johnson, who runs left, cuts it back towards the middle. A gain of about 5 on the play. It's going to be 3rd and 1 for Johnson and the Jumbos.
And especially now that Phil Lutz, you know, I mean, you wanted him senior day to set the record. Have a little bit of a less incentive to pass, you know, go for the big shot here. I think the Jumbos will be more than content to be a little more cautious, given their lead. You know, it's the last game of the season. Don't, by any means, I think you can feel free to run up the score, but, you know, might as well bring out that balanced attack and get Johnson some reps on his last game as well.
And a nice cut from Tyler Johnson. Looks like he may pick up that first down, and he does. Runs right over the Jumbo 31. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Jumbos. From there, good run from Johnson to move back right.
And, you know, something we've seen all day, Tyler Johnson, besides maybe that one rush earlier in the first half, he hasn't had too many big rushes, but he's been very, very consistent. Now, that's now the 3rd or 4th time that we've seen him pull off a rush of, you know, 2 or 3 yards on a 3rd and short and get the first down. And, you know, that's exactly what you need from a senior leader like Ty Johnson to be able to say, you know, give me the ball, and I'm going to convert that 3rd down. And it's gone a long way to opening up the passing game.
Now Berluti hands off to Johnson, who runs left. Runs right through a couple of defenders, but gets brought down. Looks like a generous spot from the officials, but a gain of about 5 for Tyler Johnson. Runs out to the Jumbo 35. McCool on the tackle for the Panthers. Gain of 5 for Johnson and the Jumbos. Second and 5 on the Jumbo 35 now for Tufts. Only 2 receivers in there for the Jumbos. Berluti hands off to Johnson, who runs right through the middle. Runs over midfield and gets brought down at the Panther 45. Jumbos march into Panther territory. Sets up a first down, 1st and 10 for the Jumbos on the Panther 45.
And, you know, that comes about because of your offensive line right there. I mean, they opened up a huge hole, and then, you know, when Johnson gets that much momentum going downfield, as you saw in the replay, he gets through the first layer basically untouched, and he just blows right by that second layer of the linebackers. And then you're into the secondary, and it's just a, you know, a foot race until someone can catch up with you. Great run by Tyler Johnson, but that's, you know, the start of that run is that Tufts offensive line.
That rush will move Tyler Johnson over the 100-yard mark for the day. 20 attempts for over 100 yards. Berluti hands off to Johnson, who runs left. Johnson gets brought down. Looks like a gain of 3 for Johnson. Down to the Middlebury 43, only a gain of 2 for Johnson. It's going to be 2nd and 8. 8 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter. Berluti goes over to the middle of the field to Phil Lutz. No catch, no flags. Lutz thought he had a guy on his back, and they get a flag after the fact, but it's thrown at the backfield.
Yeah, I'm not sure that doesn't look like it's to be pass interference. That's nowhere near where the spot was. I actually thought it was a good no call. I think Phil Lutz started to lean towards the ball as the ball came in. The contact was about the same time.
And they're going to get the Panthers on a personal foul. Definitely not what you wanted as the Middlebury defense. That's number 94, Joe Rubio.
Yeah, and he's going to be subbed out. That's just something, I mean, when you're trailing by that much, it's inexcusable. I mean, after the foul, I mean, they didn't call roughing the passer. What it means, it's probably unnecessary roughness, meaning unnecessary. Something you cannot have, especially at this time of the game. Panthers were bit by penalties last week, 11 penalties for 108 yards, which is almost double their season average. You know, they haven't been too bad today, but there have been a couple costly ones, including that are really hurting them.
That's right, Scott. Certainly avoidable. It's going to be 1st and 10 on the Panther 30 for the Jumbos. Berluti with Johnson to his left, only 2 receivers in the game. Hand off to Johnson, who runs left. Puts a nice jump cut on it. Picks up about 6 yards. Sam Wilson on the tackle for the Panthers. It's going to set up 2nd and 6 on a gain of 4, for Johnson. Jumbos have gone back to Johnson, and Scott, we talked about it pregame, but it's that balanced attack that's helped the Jumbos move the ball.
Absolutely. We said in all 3 of their losses, they didn't hit both of these things. They only hit one. They didn't hit 100 yards rushing. They didn't hit 250 yards passing. I believe they've hit both today already. And once you hit those for the Jumbos, it's been a winning story of wins so far.
Berluti hands off to Johnson, who runs right, but he's brought down. Nice play by the Middlebury defensive line. Gain of about 2 for Johnson. McDonald on the stop. Jumbo's on the Panther 23, now facing 3rd and 5. Billy Dunn in the game for the Jumbos, the senior from Shaker Heights, Ohio, with Jaden Richardson still sidelined with that leg injury. Dunn's going to be all alone on the left side, top of your screen. They send Cade Moore in motion. Berluti takes the snap. Looking for Lutz. Forces it to him. Lutz has it. Was he in bounds? Yes, he was, and Phil Lutz reels it in, brings the Jumbos down to the Panther 6 for another first down. And Phil Lutz still just showing off all his talent.
That's just an unbelievable connection, too, by Berluti and Lutz. I mean, there's really one place that Berluti can throw that for Lutz to be able to both catch the ball and get his feet in bounds. And he hits him in stride. Phil Lutz is able to shuffle his feet because the ball is thrown so perfectly. I mean, it's a great catch by Phil Lutz, but it's a perfect throw by Berluti to be able to allow Lutz to get those feet in with control.
Absolutely, and a difficult throw on the run for sure from Berluti. Johnson to his right, 4 receiver set for the Jumbos. 1st and goal on the Jumbo 7. Berluti drops back, sends it up, but out of bounds, intended for Lutz most likely, but a broken play for the Jumbos, and Berluti wisely sends it out of bounds. Now 2nd and goal on the Middlebury 7. Jumbos go 2 receivers, 2 tight ends, and Johnson to the right of Berluti. Berluti looking for Lutz. And Lutz all alone. Another touchdown for Phil Lutz.
I mean, maybe the only thing I can think about right now is the Panthers are like, oh, the Jumbos won't run up the score on us. But senior game with Phil Lutz setting records left and right, not on this field. No hesitation by Berluti. Lutz has so much space out there. I mean, you're just daring them to throw it, and the way they're playing, there's no way they're going to miss it. And they don't again, and Phil Lutz has his 6th on the game.
And Scott, I said it earlier after 3 that he's got a hat trick, but there's a double hat trick for Phil Lutz. 6, that's more than my fingers. And Lutz really just putting it all on display. He's got more than a whole hand, Scott, and really just impressive performance from Phil Lutz, rewriting the record book.
He's got a touchdown of touchdowns, one might say. And, I mean, it's just been really, really impressive. I mean, we've seen him do it in so many ways, too, right? We saw one in the near – we saw him catch a 2-yard throw, break 2 tackles, and run all the way down the sideline. We saw him hit a fade. We've seen him hit not 1 but 2 touchdowns in the middle of the field where he then shed tackles, jab stepped around another defender. I mean, he's just doing it in every single way possible.
And Scott, it'd be a good idea to open up the record book once again. And Phil Lutz looking at his name on the leaderboard now for receiving touchdowns in a season. Now Pat Walsh. Sends it deep, able to kick this one through the wind. Putting a nice move on his man, but the Jumbo special teams unit is able to bring him down at the Panther 37-yard line. Sam Frizzoli on the tackle for the Jumbos.
So if you're Middlebury now, I mean, you could still think you have a chance. I understand if you do. At the same time, it's 35 points, and that's not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4, but a full hand's worth of touchdowns that you're short right now. So you got to just take it one play at a time, maybe show some new things, you know, almost start setting things up for next season. That's a great throw right there.
Absolutely good connection between Kennan and Jamin. And if you're the Jumbos, you've got to expect just that. Panthers got to keep passing the ball, keep trying to march down the field. Again, they trail by 35, but still a lot of time left on that clock. Jumbo offense could run stagnant, although they've shown a lot of momentum so far in the second half. Kennan back to throw. Looks over the middle of the field, wide open. He's got Livingston. This Jumbo defense has gone just a little bit soft. Finding a hole in the middle is Greg Livingston, and connecting with him is Cole Kennan.
Well, you know, Sam, I mean, if you were the Panthers coaching staff, you said we have 20 points, 5 minutes to go in the third, they'd say, yeah, that's all right. You know, because I don't think, you know, they would have had trust in their defense, which is only allowing 17 points a game, to keep you right around there. So it's not that the offense hasn't been good enough. It's just in the context of this score, they haven't done enough.
That's right, Scott, and the Jumbos sent pressure once again, bringing down Cole Kennan, but he's able to send that one away.
And, I mean, one thing that the Jumbos have done is pressure, right? I mean, even though Kennan has thrown 3 touchdowns, Jumbos have 4 sacks. They forced a fumble. They forced a pick. They had another near pick that we saw earlier that was just dropped. So that's been the name of the game. We talked about it at the beginning. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Continue to build on last week's 7-sack performance. They've done that exactly so. It's been in Kennan's mind the entire time, and they haven't been able to get anything.
Now Kennan. He takes a snap, goes through his progression, looks deep for his man Jamin, but can't connect. Good idea from Kennan.
Unfortunately for him, that's not the first time. We saw it twice in the first half, especially on that far sideline streaking receivers that he just overthrew. Now that's the third one that he's overthrown. That one especially, it's not too far downfield. You had a lot of space towards the corner of the end zone. Got to hit that. That's got to be 6.
Absolutely, Scott. Can't be missing out on those opportunities late in this game, especially down 35. Still just 3rd and 10. Panthers on the Jumbo 17. Kennan takes a snap. Jumbo sends some pressure. Kennan holds steady, gets it to his man. And in for a touchdown is Donovan Wood. Nice move by Wood to shake his man off. And Donovan Wood, the 16-yard touchdown, and Donovan Wood going tit for tat with Phil Lutz just a little bit.
Yeah,
finding the end zone himself.
We talked about that as the key matchup, and I mean, what have we seen from Phil Lutz, which is, you know, yards after catch, yak as the kids call it these days. And what did we see there is, you know, Wood makes the catch and he breaks the tackle and he strolls into the end zone, exactly like Phil Lutz has done at least 3 of his own touchdowns. So, you know, you can see the comparison right there. Unfortunately for the Panthers, it's 6 touchdowns versus just the 1.
Tony Wang's extra point is up and good for the Panthers. They cut the Jumbo lead to 4 touchdowns. 4:18 left to go, and Scott, this one definitely not over. The Jumbos did have a 28-point lead earlier in the game. Panthers brought it all the way back to 8 before the Jumbos jumped right back out.
Right, I mean, the Jumbos have now had 2 20-point quarters, so have the Panthers. So the Panthers put up a 20-point quarter in the 4th, and I will say the Panthers' best quarter has by far been the 4th quarter. They've outscored opponents by 74-25 in that quarter, so they have been a really clutch team. The question is this just too much to overcome in the 4th? And the answer is, as it stands, probably. They need to get something else before we switch to the 4th to be able to really have a fighting chance.
And we'd expect Coach Ritter to send the kitchen sink at trying to cover Phil Lutz on this next drive. The funky kick from the Panthers goes out of the back of the end zone.
And now the question is, can Michael Berluti and Phil Lutz be stopped? Sam, do you think they can be stopped?
Well, Scott, I do expect the Jumbos to go to a little bit more of a conservative approach and run this one on the ground. No, put it in the hands of your senior back, Tyler Johnson.
Fair answer. I was looking for no. But I think the answer is if they wanted it, they could get it. And I think you're right that they probably should run the ball. Now you're in the battle with the clock, right? I mean, frankly, you don't need more than 55 points. You have to have faith in your defense. the best thing to do now is run it. Now, if they wanted to pad the stats, I think they could.
And fascinating, Scott, because they're giving Phil Lutz about 6-7 yards of space. But the Jumbos are going to run the ball. And Tyler Johnson running left. Picks up about 3 yards. Not a ton of space there from the offensive line, but Johnson able to turn nothing into something. Picks up 3 yards on first down. Jumbos are going to have 2nd and 7 on their own 28.
I mean, Phil Lutz has currently, I assume he'll get a little closer, but Phil Lutz has 8 yards of space right now. If this was not a 55 to 27 point game, the ball would be finding him immediately.
Berluti hands off to Johnson, who runs left, gets hit behind the line of scrimmage, and taken down for a loss of 1.
Hey, at this point, the Jumbos might want to be stopped on 1st and 2nd down because it gives them an excuse to pass on 3rd.
No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and 6 for Tufts.
3rd and 6 on the Jumbo 29. No gain for Johnson on the previous play.
And the Panthers recognize this is actually possibly a passing down. You'll see they changed their matchups, and now you have at least 3, if not 4, defenders on the Lutz side.
Berluti takes a snap. Johnson runner wheel over the middle of the field, finds Jackson Butler. Did he get enough for that first down? Looks like the officials are going to give it to him. Well done by Jackson Butler to see that marker and get just there.
I think they're going to give it to him. I think they're, well, maybe not. I saw the back judge wave the clock is running, which it should not be running if it was a first down. But I think they are going to give it to him. And that's a generous spot. I didn't see it. I thought he was about a foot or 2 short, but it's just the Jumbos will take it.
Berluti and this offense still percolating. Johnson to the left. Hand off to Johnson. No, Berluti's going to keep it and throw it away. Probably a miscommunication between him and a receiver.
Yeah, I think he got a bit confused. You saw there was a bit of a bobble there after the Johnson transfer. I'm not sure what he was looking at because it felt like he made I felt like he saw Phil Lutz, and to be honest, Phil Lutz was wide open in the middle of the field, as he normally is. Maybe it's just a habit at that point because, I mean, today it's just been, throw to Phil Lutz's general direction, he'll catch it for run for a touchdown. So maybe that was Berluti's mindset, just a little too far away from Phil that time.
Must have been thinking, hey, Lutz has got to be down there somewhere. Now Berluti. Johnson to his left. 2 receiver set. 2 tight ends. Hand off to Johnson. Nice block through the middle. Johnson still on his feet. Brought down after a gain of about 7. Runs out to the Jumbo 42-yard line.
I mean, it's great to be able to pass, but I don't think one of the best feelings in the world might be when you're able to run it, when everyone in the stadium knows you're able to run it, because it just shows that you are the better team. And we've really seen that in the last few possessions. The Jumbos have been getting a lot of yards on the ground when everyone knows they're running it on 1st and 2nd down.
3rd and 3 on the Jumbo 42. Berluti sends Arkia in motion. Hands off to Johnson, who gets brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Good tackle there from Thomas Kennery.
You'll see on the replay that Kennery got immediate backfield penetration. And when you're such a big body like that, then you get help from either side. Not really any chance for Johnson there. Stone in the backfield. And for the first time in what feels like a while, we will see a Walsh punt. And we do know what happened on the last punt. I think he's put a little more separation between himself and his back line there.
Snap is good.
Oh,
and it's blocked by Middlebury. They get right through. Can't scoop it up, though. Finally, they do scoop it up and get in there for a touchdown. Could not see who was on the other end of it. But Scott, the Jumbo punt, has struggled this game. And the Panthers blocking that and taking it to the house for a Panther touchdown. Blocked by Coleman Brown.
Yeah, Brown got immediate penetration. I'm not sure what happened there because he was able to get through both 1st and 2nd line of defense really easily. I mean, it wasn't even close. He engulfed that punt. I mean, it hit him right square in the chest. And, You know, all of a sudden, we talked about this, you know, they needed some help going into the fourth quarter. I didn't think they could do it by that. But, you know, if they're able to convert this here, all of a sudden, it's only a 3-possession game.
The Jumbos jump offside. The extra point is good. Looks like they'll be able to enforce that penalty on the kickoff. But the Jumbos jump, and after the miscue on the punt, Middlebury adds 7 to the tally.
Extra point is no good from Tony Wang with 37 seconds left to go in the third quarter.
Then
The score, Tufts 55 and Middlebury 33. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we'd like to recognize our seniors in the pep band. The Tufts pep band keeps us all entertained throughout the season. Here are the seniors in the Tufts pep band. Brandon, Son, offside. Number 35, Tony, left, right.
and the extra point is good. So that'll put it at 55 to 34.
Caroline Henley, Andrew Skripczak, Kim Skyford, Michelle Kim, and Marissa Stark.
Yeah, a bit of a confusion between the refs and the scorekeepers up here, but the extra point was good, and a special shout out to the Tufts pep band playing their tunes each and every week, and to the seniors who are graduating, we know they'll be missed.
The kick is into the back of the end zone for Tony Wang.
Take over first and 10 on 25-yard line.
And so, I mean, now you've got 21 points, right? And it's possible, you know, for Middlebury. They have a chance. They have a very clear chance. But it starts with a stop. They got it last time, right? And really, it seems like basically anything can happen, unfortunately, when Patrick Walsh has the ball. I mean, that last one was no fault of his own, but at the same time, anything seems to be able to happen once the punting unit comes out. So you need to stop here, and then, for all you know, you get another miracle at the 2-possession game, and things start spiraling from there.
Berluti hands it off to Johnson. Johnson runs left for a gain of about 4. Runs it all the way out to the Jumbo 29. Actually out to the 30, so a gain of 5 for Tyler Johnson. Good run on first down. And, Scott, as you said before, it's really good to be able to run the ball when everyone in the stadium knows that you're going to run the ball.
Absolutely. And now more than ever. Now that it is a 3-possession game, the incentive is very, very clear that you are going to run the ball to kill clock. I mean, that's the name of the game now. When you're up by that many points with, you know, you're still in the middle of the third, you're like, okay, maybe we run it down, maybe we try for more. Now it's very clearly clock, bleed it down. That's why they're not going to snap the ball as we end the third quarter.
Tufts 55 and Middlebury 34.
And that'll take us to the fourth quarter. Jumbos lead 55 to 34, and we'll be back with you in a couple of minutes for the fourth. Jumbo's getting ready to march down the field. First drive here of the fourth quarter. 2nd and 5. Set up by that run from Tyler Johnson. The Jumbos will start on their own 30-yard line. And a handoff to Johnson. He runs right, makes a man miss on a nice cut. Cuts it back upfield, and again, a 10 for Tyler Johnson. First down, moves the chains for Tufts.
And, I mean, every single successful, well, unsuccessful or successful, is another 40-ish seconds or so off the clock, right? So you look at it that way, you say, okay, all we need is, you know, like 25, I can't do math that fast, 25 successful runs, and we're done with the game, right? So just keep running the ball, and I mean, there's just not enough time. If you're able to successfully run it for Middlebury,
Now Berluti in this offense getting ready to go once again. Looks like the Jumbos may take a delay of game here on first down, so it'll be 1st and 15.
You know, I don't know if it was intentional or not. However, if you think about it, if you have that much confidence in your running game, this could be strategically beneficial, right? Because that's just more yards you're able to gain and more clock you're able to kill. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but if it was, I could almost see it as being intentional. You're just going to be able to kill, you know, another 40 or so seconds every delay game penalty you take.
Berluti hands off to Johnson, who makes a nice cut to the left. He's brought down after a gain of about 7.
Yeah, that was a beautiful cut, like you said. A little in and out move there. The play was designed for him to stay mostly within the tackle boxes, and he recognized that it was blown up. Got a good fake on the linebacker coming for him. Got a nice 6 yards to the outside.
Well done by Tyler Johnson to set up a 2nd and 9 here for the Jumbos on their own 40. Berluti looking over the middle of the field for Jackson Butler, and Coach Savetti in dismay that there's no pass interference call. Looked like Butler got shoved. Coach Savetti still pleading his case. Still no flags. It's going to be 3rd and 9 for the Jumbos.
Yeah,
They'll send in some different personnel.
I want to say that's almost the football god saying you don't get rewarded for a bad call because there's no reason to be passing there. Really, I think you should really just keep running. I on 1st and 2nd down, I think you should be running at this point. You know, you would have killed more clock, and you've also shown that no matter what the down is on 3rd down, you've been able the yardage you've been able to convert. I think it's more beneficial to take the 40 seconds off the clock and go for a 3rd and long.
Jumbos most certainly afraid to punt in this situation. Had a couple of miscues, but Berluti brought down behind the line of scrimmage for a sack for this Panthers team. They've had a bunch of tackles for loss on the season. Another one here for them.
And again, like you mentioned, now the Jumbo's worst nightmare comes out, and that's the punt unit. I'm not sure. I'm not a special teams coach. I don't know what you say at this point. Besides, you know, you have to square them up. You cannot allow them to get any penetration. The first one was more on Patrick Walsh. The second one, that was no fault of his own. You cannot have a free runner like that. It's simply indefensible. At this point in the game, at this point in the season, someone's got to pick him up.
Absolutely. Now Patrick Walsh set back to punt with the wind behind him on the Jumbo 37. A low snap. Walsh able to get the punt off, aided by the wind. Stola's not going to go after it. Takes a pretty neutral bounce and falls to sleep on the 20. So that's where the Panthers will take over. And a tall task in front of Kennan and the Middlebury offense, but given a gift previously, we'll see if they can march down the field.
Yeah, and that punt, good job by Patrick Walsh. He got that punt off a lot faster than I think he did in the past couple punts. And it's a good thing he did because, again, the Panthers were able to get some good, solid penetration into the back line. 2 of the 3 were picked up, but you had a runner who got there about a second after that punt went off. So good read by Walsh to get that away, and the Jumbos are, I'd say, content to allow the Panthers to start at the 20.
Now Kennan, a little bit of pressure, throws a duck. Can't catch it as Lee Charles McNeil. Panthers, an incompletion on first down, sets up 2nd and 10 on their own 20-yard line. Now Cole Kennan, 12:11 left on the clock. The junior from Nashville, Tennessee, stands at 6'3", 210 pounds. Takes the snap. Jumbos have some pressure. Gets the ball out to Jamin, but brought down by some Jumbos. Jack Racine in on the tackle. Racine, a senior from Oradell, New Jersey.
No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and 10.
3rd and 10 now for the Panthers. Clock still runs.
Near side, good matchups for the Panthers.
Kennan takes the snap.
Yep.
Looks for his man. That was number 3, Noah Lee.
some sort of miscommunication there because that was a back shoulder ball, and Lee never turned his shoulders to be in any position to catch that. And I think that might be Lee's inexperience because Kenan made the right read there. That needed to be back shoulder. I think if Lee is able to turn, he has a chance, but he has no chance because the Jumbos had taken away the extended throw.
Now the punt unit out once again. It's going to be Cole Kreider for Middlebury. Both teams have struggled a bit on special teams. Jumbos have kicked one into their own back and then had one blocked. That's a line drive punt into the wind. Takes a Panther roll. It's going to stop at the Jumbo 40. That's where Berluti and the Jumbo offense will take over.
Yeah, that's that's a wind-fueled punt, I think, because you're not able. They're trying to avoid kicking it really high up into the air, and so instead you go for that line drive and hope for a favorable bounce. It's a very short punt. You did get that bounce, but still the Jumbos can start at the 40, which is pretty solid field position.
It's more than a single-day meet and greet or photo opportunity. Our program places kids on multi-year.
Now the Jumbos getting ready to take over. On their own 40-yard line, it's 1st and 10. Berluti takes the snap, hands off to Johnson, who runs right, slips after a gain of about 4 out to the Jumbo 44.
It'll be 2nd and 6 for Tufts.
Berluti's still in there with Johnson. He's got a 3-receiver set. It's Billy Dunn, Phil Lutz, and Jackson Butler. Berluti takes a snap. Hands off to Johnson, who runs right. Johnson brought down after a gain of 3. It'll be 3rd and 3 for the Jumbos on their own 47.
That'll put Ty Johnson up to 154 on the day, averaging a pretty healthy 4.7 per attempt. Of course, a lot of that fueled by the second half when the Jumbos have been more in the conservative side of things.
Third and 3 on the Jumbo 47. Berluti. He takes the snap. Drops back. Middlebury sends some pressure. Berluti's going to take it himself. Cuts back towards the middle of the field and decides to continue on his feet. And as you said, Scott, we'd love to see him slide there, but deciding to dive head first. Can't complain with the result. The Jumbos bring it all the way out into Panther territory. They'll start this next set of downs, 1st and 10 on the Panther 15.
Yeah, you never want to be hurt, but at the same time, it is the fourth quarter, the last game of the season. I do kind of understand that, let's put it all on the line one last time, one last ride, one might say. And Berluti's definitely done that. And another great read, you just see his open field speed. He goes right by both linebackers who really they were lurking. They had their eyes on him the entire time. They just couldn't catch up.
Now Berluti out there once again. Johnson, a couple of tight ends. Jackson Butler and Phil Lutz. Hands off to Johnson, who runs straight through the middle. Johnson gets brought down after a gain of 2. Sam Wilson on the stop for the Panthers. And this Panther defense has been out on the field for quite some time today. Jumbos have had 30-plus minutes of possession in this one. Panthers only 18-14, and we've seen the Jumbos march down the field, but we've also seen them throw the long ball. Panther defense getting asked a lot of. Tyler Johnson running left. Gain of about 3.
Yeah, and the Panthers are used to losing the time of possession battle. They average about 6 minutes less of time of possession so far this season, but it's because their defense has been so stout in the red zone, only allowing 56% or so of opportunities to result in points. This year, however, the Jumbos have simply failed. This game, however, the Panthers have simply failed to stop the Jumbos at any point in the field.
Michael Berluti now with Tyler Johnson to his left. Phil Lutz, Billy Dunn, the two receivers. Dunn has been a red zone target. Excuse me, that's Jackson Butler on the other side. Dunn had been a red zone target previously. Berluti running it himself. He'll take it to the house for a touchdown of his own, but a flag looks like it's going to be coming back. Probably going to get the Jumbos for a hold.
Yeah, it might have been. I couldn't tell. It might be Lutz, though. One of the receivers out there, I think they just tackled his defensive back, and I think they're going to get that.
And they are going to get the Jumbos for a hold. Phil Lutz getting a little selfish, wants that 7th touchdown. It would tie an NCAA record. But a hold on the Jumbos sends this one back just a little bit. It's going to be 2nd and 14 on the Panther 19.
After the penalty, it'll be 3rd and 5 for the Jumbos.
Now after the hold, it's going to be 3rd down and 5 on the Jumbo 11, the Panther 11. Berluti drops back. Looks to Johnson, who gets upended. Johnson brought down on 3rd down. We'll see if they'll send out Vaughn Seelig in this kicking unit, and they will.
Sam, would it be a bit disrespectful to go for it on 4th down?
Quite frankly, Scott, I think it would be. Up 21 with 7 minutes left to go in the game. Vaughn Seelig rightly on for the field goal. Coach Savetti, a man known for his sportsmanship.
Yeah.
Vaughn Seelig's kick is up. And it is good. So the Jumbos put another 3 on the board. 58-34 your score. Fewer than 7 minutes left to go here in the 4th quarter. And it has been a display of dominance for the Tufts University offense.
Sam, I have a trivia question for you. Don't look at my screen. Jumbos have scored who do you think they scored the most amount of points in their entire history, football history? What team do you think they played? Or what year? You can give me either.
That's a good question, Scott. I believe I'm going to go with, just based on the fact that we're talking about it right now, I'm going to go with the Middlebury Panthers.
No.
And,
No. Well before NESCAC, according to the Tufts record books, they scored 83 points against New Hampshire. That's the University of New Hampshire in 1914. Fun fact is Harvard actually punked 86 points against the Jumbos all the way back in 1887.
It's a good piece of trivia for the viewers back at home. Jumbos lead this one 58-34. Patrick Walsh's kick with the wind. It's going to be a touchback. Middlebury's going to start this one 1st and 10 on their own 25. And running out of time is Cole Kennan and this Middlebury Panther squad. They're 7-1 entering this game.
You know, one thing that's a little surprising to me is they're not giving Ben Talbot a little more minutes. I mean, he is a senior, right? This is his last game. I understand trying to play to win, but at this point, I think it would be, I don't know. It might be a good gesture to give him at least a couple minutes of playing time in what will almost certainly be his last few minutes of professional football.
Hard to say professional, NCAA amateur athletes, but regardless, Coach Bob Ritter deciding to continue with Cole Kennan, the junior from Nashville, Tennessee. The Panthers not conceding or waving the white flag. Kennan, the deep ball for Wood, who's coming down with it. And the Jumbos are coming down with it. That's Jonathan O'Neill, the graduate student from California. Reeling that one in. We saw him drop one earlier near the goal line. But Jonathan O'Neill taking that one away from Donovan Wood. The Jumbos are going to start this next drive right around midfield on their own 45 after the miscue from Cole Kennan.
Yeah, and it was a really interesting play. I think if you saw the replay, it almost looked like I think it was O.J. Armstrong who initially went up for the pick, and it was kind of in a wrestling match, and then it was O'Neill who kind of came in at the end and basically pried that ball free and came away with it. Again, the Jumbos will take it, and I think at that point it was Cole looking for someone basically anyone downfield. He threw that ball
into no window. There was not a window there. He was really just looking for anything, kind of a prayer ball, and unfortunately for him, it didn't work out.
You cannot overstate the job that O.J. Armstrong did on that play. Has done an excellent job for this program year in and year out. The Jumbo number 2s are out there on the field. Andre Smith gets the carry. Luke Leongas, the quarterback, in on the play. Michael Berluti coming back out, though. Tyler Johnson coming out as well.
Yeah, last game of the season, I don't think there's any reason. I mean, if the starters want to stay in, let them stay in, right? There's no harm in keep getting them more reps, letting them finish out there, especially some of those seniors. Obviously, Berluti isn't one of them, but, let that group play. I think it's time. You might as well.
And, Scott, one of the seniors in that quarterback room is Gunnar Fisher. So would love to see Gunnar Fisher out there on the field late in this one. Has been a leader for this squad, helping Berluti every week. Berluti hands off to Johnson, who's got a lot of room on the left side. Johnson gets brought down, stays in bounds, though.
Yeah.
Definitely a wise play from the senior, bringing that one out to the Jumbo 49-yard line.
Yeah, I don't
it's
think
going to be 3rd and 2.
Won't make or break this game, but you're right. It's a very smart move. You could see him very intentionally slide right before he went out of bounds, and that will take another 30 seconds, 35 seconds right off the clock.
Third and 2 for the Jumbos now. Berluti with Johnson to his right, Arkia in the game. Looks like Chase Mangini setting out wide. The other side, it's Lutz. Handoff to Johnson on 3rd and 2. Whole stadium knew they were going to run the ball. Did he get enough to pick up that first down? Looks like he's just short. Tyler Johnson runs it out to midfield. We'll see if Coach Savetti wants to bring that punting unit out on 4th and 1. Coach Savetti's going to keep the offense out on the field, maybe call a timeout as the play clock's running down.
Yeah, it seems like you're right. That might be what that's what he's going to do. He just signaled to his team that he's going to call a timeout.
The offense goes back into that huddle. As Berluti awaits the play call from Coach Savetti, he's waiting for that play clock to run all the way down to 1 before he calls that timeout. We're down at 1, and he does call that timeout. 4:36 left to go. Jumbo offense at midfield. They do call a timeout. Jumbos lead 58-34. An absolute display of dominance from this offense. If we take a look at the stat sheet, Michael Berluti, an absolute masterclass, 294 yards and 7 touchdowns, only sacked once, 19 of 31. Phil Lutz, the star of the show, 10 catches, 237 yards, 6 touchdowns. That's right, 6 touchdowns for Phil Lutz. Breaks a Tufts single game record for touchdowns in a season. Lands Lutz on the leaderboard for the NESCAC. 7 is the record in the NESCAC. Phil Lutz also broke the single season receiving yards, his own one for Tufts and the NESCAC one, both in this game. Berluti just feeding him.
Let's give some love to the defense, too. We have Victor Garza with 2 pass breakups, O'Neal with 2 pass breakups. That pick we just saw, Zuniga with a pick.
And now Berluti getting ready to lead this offense. 4th and 1. Could be trying to draw them off sides. Still plenty of time left on the play clock. They snap it. Berluti's going to take it himself. He's got a lot of room on the left side, and Berluti's got a lot of green in front of him. Michael Berluti taking it to the house. A 50-yard touchdown run for Michael Berluti. And the Jumbos continue to run up the score. We're north of 60 for the Jumbos. 64. Seelick looking to make it 65. And Berluti has done it not only with his arm, but with his legs as well. That's going to move him over 180 yards rushing. Berluti's first rushing touchdown of the day. He's got 8 total.
Yeah, and that'll put the Jumbos over 300 combined rushing yards. I mean, we talked about this, right? Multi-dimensional attack. The Jumbos have 300 rushing yards, and they have almost 300 passing yards. I mean, talk about exactly, right, 1 for 1. That's exactly what you wanted to see. They've been able to beat them in every which way possible. They've had everything going, and, I mean, frankly, the scoreboard reflects that.
And Vaughn Seelick's extra point is up and good. 65 points for the Jumbos here at the Ellis Oval. an amazing send-off for this senior group.
An amazing send-off for Sam Brill after going many, many years without a win. To see 2 in a row is pretty impressive, Sam.
And Scott, I honestly had nothing to do with the outcome on the field, but definitely makes you feel good to watch your home team win. Job is not finished, though, for this team, and Patrick Walsh is getting ready to kick this one off. Walsh kicking off once again. That leg's got to be tired after all those touchdowns. And another kickoff for Walsh, able to get it towards the end zone. Panthers will take it for a touchback, and they're going to start this one 1st and 10 on their own 25.
And I think they may, in fact, be making that quarterback change we talked about.
And Scott, you are correct. They are making that quarterback change. It's going to be Ben Tauber.
And look, I think that's the right move. Give him some time. I mean, this game, you know, sorry to the Middlebury diehards, this game is over score-wise. So at the very least, give the senior some minutes on his final game.
Tauber's going to hand it off.
Brownlee on the carry for Middlebury. Will Duncanson on the stop for the Jumbos.
Alec Brownlee on the carry and Will Duncanson on the stop. This one might get a little bit messy. Scott got a bunch of second-string guys in there. Tauber rolls right. He's going to take it himself. Gets hit, but not after the first down. Well done by Ben Tauber, running for it. Trying to seize every moment of the end of his Middlebury Panther career here. Shane Reiner on the stop for the Jumbos.
Yeah, and Talbert was running a little more when he was he had, well, no, not really, actually. He only had 10 attempts on the ground total when he played in the first 3 or 4 games.
Brownlee on another carry for the Panthers. Hamlin and Cam O'Brien in on the tackle for the Jumbos, and now the Panthers on their own 40-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and 7. Ben Tauber, the senior from Glastonbury, Connecticut, 6 feet tall, 185 pounds. Tauber takes a snap. He drops back. Looks for his man. And a long way down to the ground for number 85 of the Middlebury offense. It's Thompson on the catch. Now out to the Middlebury 45. It's 3rd and 2 for the Panthers. Tauber's going to hand it off. And a nice little run there for the Panthers. Picks up the first down. That's number 27, Alec Brownlee once again. Brownlee the back in the game. 2:45 left in the game. Tauber takes a snap. Fakes the handoff to Brownlee. Gets it to Anson Clow. Clow, just before that first down marker, gets pushed out of bounds. It's going to be 3rd and 1 now. 2nd and 1 for the Panthers. Clock still runs. Tauber in the game. Brownlee to his left. Tauber takes the snap. He's looking for his man, number 1, Greg Livingston, but well underthrown, and good on the coverage was Jack Racine, the senior from Ordell, New Jersey. 3rd and 1 now for the Panthers. For the incomplete pass, stops the clock. 2:16 left to go, 3rd and 1. In Jumbo territory on the Jumbo 42. Tauber takes a snap. Hands it off to Brownlee, who's got enough for a first down and some more. Gain of about 4 for Brownlee out to the Jumbo 38-yard line. As the officials spot the ball, they now run the clock. Almost at the 2-minute mark. Ben Tauber marching down the field with this Middlebury offense. Brownlee to his right. Jumbo sends some pressure. Can't quite get there, and Tauber's going to run it himself. Cuts it back towards the middle of the field. Finally gets brought down by a bunch of Jumbos. Middlebury's going to pick up a first down. Run that ball all the way to the 25. And Gunnar Fisher, listed as a quarterback, but finally getting in there on a tackle.
Team favorite, you could tell the entire sideline cheered when they saw it was him who made the tackle.
Gunnar Fisher, number 19, one of the cornerbacks in there on the near side of your screen. Tauber dropping back to pass and throwing a duck out there. Couldn't quite get it to his target. Number 6. Intended for Yoakum. Second and 10 now for Middlebury. Tauber, 1:24 left in the game. Looks deep. Pass incomplete for his target. It's number 85 for Middlebury. For Dan Thompson. Couldn't get it to him. 3rd and 10 now for the Panthers on the Jumbo 25. And a handoff to Alec Brownlee. Jumbo stands strong. It's going to be 4th down for Middlebury. O'Brien and Gunnar Fisher in on the tackle. Now 4th and 1, 4th and 2 on the Jumbo 18. Tauber dropping back. He's got a lot of space in front of him. Decides to let it loose. Gets it up there. Was he in for the touchdown? Looks like they're calling this one incomplete. The Jumbos will be able to kneel this one out. Jaden Pina also in on the coverage for the Jumbos.
Good to see some of the seniors getting their reps towards the end of the game and playing pretty well out there. You can see a lot of good energy on the Tufts bench right now, flocking to those seniors, knowing this is a real big moment for them. And they're in no rush to get out there and let this moment savor for a bit.
It's absolutely right, Scott. The Jumbos overjoyed to be able to finish their season on a high note, take a win here on their home turf on Senior Day. They're going to send out 12 more to kneel this one. It's Gunnar Fisher, the quarterback in the game. He takes the first knee. He's got to take one more before the end. And Gunnar Fisher, the senior quarterback, able to claim this victory for the Jumbos. Fisher bringing the Jumbos into the huddle, talking to them one final time in his Jumbo career. 2nd and 12 for Tufts as they get set to finish this one, but a beautiful performance for the Jumbos on Senior Day. Michael Berluti, the quarterback, 294 passing yards, 7 touchdowns. With his legs, he's got another 184 with a touchdown, pleading his case for NESCAC Offensive Player of the Year. His favorite target, Phil Lutz, ended with 10 receptions, 237 yards, and 6 touchdowns for Phil Lutz. The Jumbos will shake hands at midfield before celebrating themselves as a team. But an excellent finish to a storied career for so many of these seniors. It's been an absolute joy, a pleasure, and a privilege to be able to call for them.
And what a way to go out, too. I mean, it's not like, they came out, they won by 3, they won by 7. I mean, look at the score. I mean, they absolutely destroyed Middlebury this entire game. They had their number from the very beginning. All facets of the game played outstanding. It's a complete team performance. You can't think of a better way to send them off into the sunset.
Absolutely, Scott. And you love love to watch them come out with an excellent performance towards the end of this season. And a little bittersweet for me, at least. A great way to finish it for the Jumbos. And thank you so much for joining us. We're hoping to be back here in a couple minutes with a post-game interview. But again, 4 years at this beautiful university, 4 years on the mic. Well, really only 3 because of the COVID year, Scott. But it's been a joy, a pleasure, and I said it before, but really a privilege to be on the mic for this Tufts University Jumbos team. And I can't really say enough nice things about this team. I love these players. They're really always incredibly kind and work incredibly hard, and we're really happy to do it for them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a great team to watch, to root for. You know, I mean, obviously they've had their struggles last year, but the way they won 4 in a row last year to end the end of the season, to come out here and finish 6-3 and really look pretty good doing it. You know, on our senior year, on a lot of their senior years, what a way to send them off.
That's right, Scott. And we'll be back with you in just a couple moments, hoping to have sophomore quarterback Michael Berluti and Phil Lutz, 2 of the record breakers on this team. But we'll be back in just a few.
At Team Impact, we pair kids who have been sidelined by serious illness and disability with college teams from across the country.
What's up, big man? You good?
It's more than a single-day meet and greet or photo opportunity. Our program places kids on a multi-year journey, becoming true members of a collegiate athletics team.
We are
Penn State.
From signing day to game day.
I can't describe it. It feels amazing.
Team Impact. All in, all together.
We're here now with sophomore quarterback Michael Berluti and senior Phil Lutz, and you guys took a 65-34 victory at home. Mike, what does it mean to lead this team as a sophomore? You know, you got a shot at it last year, took a couple of wins, but to finish this one out.
Feels amazing, to be honest. It really does. I mean, these seniors, especially Phil right here, everyone's been so supportive, really, of me since the beginning. It means the world to really finish it off today and get them this big win. We did it in all phases. Everyone made plays today for the seniors, man. That's what we were focusing on. That's what we were focused on all week. So to get it done for them today, it means the world.
And Phil, your last game here at home, how did this atmosphere really fuel this group?
Man, I love playing at home. I love playing in front of my family, my friends, and I just love playing with my boys at our home field. It's just a totally different feel than when you're playing on the road, and it's just amazing.
Absolutely. And let's open up the stat sheet a little bit, let you guys know how we did today. Mike, 294 passing, 181 on the ground, 7 touchdowns through the air, and 1 with the legs. A record-breaking season performance. What does it mean for you as a sophomore to sort of begin to rewrite this record book?
It's a combination of a lot of things, to be honest. And what's great is that football is a team game, right? That's the best thing about it. And that's really, the statistic book will have my name there, but it's a credit to Phil. It's a credit to the linemen, first and foremost. It's a credit to TJ. It's a credit to all the guys, the coaching staff preparing us throughout the week. There's so many things that goes into it, and coaches put us in the best position to be successful in games. And I got a bunch of players around me making plays. The line does an amazing job, play in, play out, blocking for all of us, and so all 11 guys make it go. It's not just me, and that's the best thing about football. So, as cool as that is for me personally, it's all of us. It really is.
And congrats to you, Michael. And Phil, 10 catches, 234 yards, got your season total up over 1,200. That is the NESCAC single-season receiving record. So congratulations to you.
Thank you, sir.
How does it feel to do that on your way out of this beautiful university?
Dude, absolutely incredible. I couldn't ask for a better team to do it with. All the guys are so supportive, and I have the best quarterback in the nation throw me the rock. So it really feels incredible.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much, and I'll let you guys go and get on and celebrate with your team.
Thank you, guys.
Sir.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Sure thing. For all of us here at Tufts JumboCast, I'm Sam Brill. This is my last game on for football, and it's really been, as I said before, an honor and a privilege, and joined here by Scott Blatt, another senior. Scott, an excellent game to send us off 65-34 victory.
Yeah, I think we're sailing into the sunset just as much as these players are, and what a game to call. I mean, so much happened, so many records broken for the Jumbos. We just saw 2 of the record breakers just right here. I mean, what a great game. And shout out to the other seniors in the booth. Henry Stahl behind the camera, in front of the camera now. We got Ethan Grublich off to our side. 2 other seniors who've been instrumental in the success of this broadcast, success of JumboCast overall.
And one final time for Tufts football, and for all of us here at Tufts JumboCast, thank you so much, and please stay home safely.